What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. CJ, only a couple more days till the big man comes around with the presents.
Facts. Almost that time. It's a lot of things to be grateful for. Just a special time. Spending time with your family, getting be able to talk to your loved ones, people that's close to you. That's what it's all about during this time of year. So uh, it's just great times. Great times.
What's the number one song that gets good CJ over there in the holly jolly mood?
I mean, I haven't really gotten to that type of mood in a little minute, but it's definitely, in terms of like listening to music, I always get into the mood.
Okay,
But in terms of like listening to music, um, I don't know. I don't know.
all right.
I guess, you got the Feliz Navidad, the classic.
Oh,
That's
classic
just,
banger.
you just heard that your whole life. You know what I mean? Like you just haven't heard that song during this time of year, especially living in New York. I don't know. You living under a rock if you haven't grown up to that song.
I agree.
uh, Jackson 5, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Okay.
Classic, classic. Um, I mean, you got again, the Silent Nights, and it's just the classics. You know what I mean? So,
I feel you.
growing up, those are definitely the ones that I always listen to. The ones that definitely hit home.
One that resonated, huh?
Yeah. If that was a playlist, that'd be a little playlist I have. You know, this Christmas. I always forget the guy that sings it, but it's a banger. It's the R&B version. Fire. Uh, yeah.
I figured it
I
out.
think those. I think those are the. I think those are the. Let's go. Let's go, Knicks.
Oh yeah. See, that's all that CJ wants for Christmas.
Man, that'd be the perfect.
A little chip, just a little, casual.
Getting that on Christmas Day. Keeping. First we got to close this one out
They
though.
play Christmas Day.
Yeah, play the Sixers. A lot of people was
Oh
telling.
my
A lot of
guys!
people. A lot of people were saying,
Wow.
"Oh, a lot of people saying, oh, we shouldn't have been on a Christmas Day." So I don't know. Now it's looking different now. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's beautiful when the games are played, just like in the NFL. When the games are being played, we learn more, and that's the beauty in it. And this week, whoa, we learned a lot. We learned a lot this week.
Yeah, we did learn a lot of things. Matt, what's going on?
Man, what's going on,
Pat's
brother?
loss was the saddest I've seen.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a given. That's a given.
CJ, you ready to get into everything? I think we'll get into everything. I don't know. You pulling up the scores for the people that are viewing as we usually do. Listen, if you're only listening to the podcast, stop by the live version as well. We got a lot. We're beautiful people, if you ask myself. So might as well come see, hang out, get in the comments section, and have a good time talking back and forth. Green Bay still alive. I don't know how, but we are. I saw that. I think Green Bay needs Commanders to lose 2 out of 3, and the Seahawks to lose one, and then they have to win out, or they need the Giants to lose all three, and then the Commanders to lose 2 out of 3. I saw some scenarios where the Packers make now. Do I think it happens? I don't think I do.
So they need a lot of help.
They need some help, but I believe the Commanders play the 49ers this week, so that's probably. And then the Seahawks. Why not? Why can't they lose one more game this entire season? I feel like that ship's kind of gone off course a little bit. And then, they got to hope that the Commanders lose one of the last two. So, hey, listen, it's that time of the year where anything's possible. And we certainly found that out this weekend. But we started out, CJ, I almost want to do the unprecedented and start with our Patriot game to get it out of the way. But what do you
Yeah,
want to do? You want to do that, or do you want to go normal order? What are we thinking here?
man. Yeah, we got to start with the Patriots,
We
bro.
got to start with. I was hoping you were gonna. I feel like it's the only right decision. I mean, listen, we're both fans of the team. and it's the worst loss that I've ever seen in my life. Now listen, I was watching the game. Listen, that as a Colts fan, I genuinely would have rather lost a comeback like that than lose the game that way. Because at least it's a no. See, CJ, here's my thing. It's a slow death. It's a slow. See, it's a slow death though. You can like see the buildup of it coming, and you can just by the time it was tied and going into overtime, you already knew you were going to lose the game.
33-0. 33-0. Nah, bro. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I was was stupid, but not worse than 33-0.
no. But I'd rather lose a worse game than a stupid game. So I would. Personal, listen. That's the beauty.
Personally, I don't. Of course, we prefer neither.
That's the.
But yeah, go ahead, bro.
So listen, CJ, can you just scroll down to the game real quick? Because I want to stare the final score right in the face.
That's hilarious.
I want to look at it. 30-24, the Raiders, they beat the Pats. And I mean, I think the thing that annoys me, not even most about this game, because I'll get to the game. Don't worry about the game. Is that this season we've done things as the Patriots that just aren't supposed to happen. Like, since when? Like, a couple weeks ago, we gave a kick return touchdown. This week, we're giving up a blocked punt. Like, this is the most prepared, well-coached, do-your-job team that's ever existed, and we're doing all these stupid things. And then, all right, that's the whole season. And then we can just go into this game, right? I think it's the first drive. We barely score any touchdowns on the first drive. What happens? We get right down to that red zone, which is basically the house of horrors for us. If we get into the red zone, I'm already counting the 3 points because I know we're not going to score a touchdown. I mean, that's just too much to ask. So we get down into that red zone. Nice little play. I believe it was I think it was a run for Ramondre or no. Mac did a dove over the top on a QB sneak. Touchdown. Let's go. Celebration. Woo. Timeout was called. That's wonderful. Then I believe we try to run another play to get a delay game because the play call is not coming in fast enough. But listen, Bill is the one who made Matt Patricia the offensive coordinator for the season. So of course, I'm supposed to trust it. That's what I'm supposed to do. And well, how's that working out for us? Not very well. Raiders go down. They score a touchdown. Then it's just a punt fest. Then we get our punt blocked, I believe. Raiders go down, score the touchdown. So now we're looking at halftime. It's 14-6. I'm like, okay, well, that's definitely not what you want. Then we come out third quarter, play well, score 10 in the third, which means 16-14. That's cool. Winning the game at that point. Punt fest back and forth again. Patriots score a touchdown on a nice Ramondre Stevenson run, which, by the way, we've had 178 yards in the game, a touchdown, probably the best game of his career, of course. And we're up. I'm like, okay, it's 24. I think at that point it was like 24 something, 24 whatever. Then
24
16?
17.
17,
Yeah.
24-17.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. There's about a minute 30 left. The Raiders hadn't really done anything in the second half of the game.
Yeah, Uche was getting home.
Uche's getting home. Yeah, I mean, listen.
It's good stops.
Secondary was playing well. Then in a minute 30, all of a sudden, they forgot to play defense. We give it up. I believe it was a fourth and 10.
Yeah.
4th and 10, you give that up. And then here's my thing. Listen, are you going to double team the opposite receiver of Devontae Adams? No, of course you're not. Nobody does that. You double team Devontae, you get help him.
Right.
My thing is, the end zone is the only thing that matters. There is not one thing on the field that matters more than the end zone. Not one. A field goal does nothing. Let's do some quick maths here, people. 24-17. Let's add 17 to 3 real quick. What does that get you to? Anybody in the audience? 20. What's greater than 20? 24. And that's what the Patriots had, so you can win the game. Congratulations. So a field goal doesn't matter. If you stop them before the end zone, even without a field goal, let's do some math again. 17 plus 0. Oh, still 17. 24 is greater than 17 the last time I checked, too. So, hey, you win the game in both of those scenarios. The one thing you can't do is give up a touchdown because that'll tie the game. Granted, they make the extra point, whatever. And you let the receiver run right past you. Right, I mean, directly past you. If you look at the play, he's running back, looking up. Why is he behind you? How do you let the receiver? I don't care if he was 4'11".
I mean, it's just like it's also the play that's being called too.
Well,
you also got to take that in consideration as well.
Play call.
Are there why isn't there 2 safeties over the top? Like you said, if you play in the end zone, there should be 2 safeties over the top, not one. So even it should be 1 safety covered shadowing Devontae, which we did a good job of.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing.
Man, yeah, this one hurt, bro. This one.
So you let the receiver get behind you, and then it's touchdown. Now, let's get into the touchdown as well. There is no way in the absolute possible great green and blue multicolored earth that we live on that's a touchdown. I mean, we have 8K. We have surpassed 1080p to 4K, surpassed that too. And we're up to 8K now, cameras. And we can't see that that's not a touchdown? And then the still picture came out from the photographer. Oh, look, see, the white shoe. Listen, the people arguing this just makes me realize how stupid people are as well. Because what shoe do you know just suddenly ends like this? It was a black sneaker with a white strip, and then the toe of the shoe was black. And guess what? It's on the line. It's not that very difficult to see. Also, you can see the white kick up from the field when he catches the pass. So that should not be a touchdown as it is. I don't know how we have this much technology and get calls wrong. It makes no sense to me. And then for the NFL to double down on it and say, oh yeah, there was no indisputable evidence. What cameras do you use? Everybody on the broadcast team, if you weren't a Raider fan, oh, that's not a touchdown. That's not a touchdown. Immediately, everybody on Twitter, oh, that's not a touchdown. You can see it right here. The play on the field stands. Okay, so listen. You get screwed. That's fine. You know what? You're not supposed to lose a game because of one thing. And guess what? We didn't lose the game because of one thing. Because we go on offense and run a draw play with like 30 seconds left. We're at our own 45. Call a timeout with 3 seconds left. Now at that point, you're kind of like, I mean, I guess you call the timeout. You could have just let the clock go out, but whatever. We'll throw a Hail Mary from the 45. Because, listen, if you're in the NFL, you can't throw a Hail Mary from the 45. You shouldn't be in the NFL. I think Matt can reach the end zone from the 45. So I'm like, okay, they're going to, a little Hail Mary, whatever. We'll go into overtime. Or, maybe they try and get – they fake the kneel down, try to get to the 50 just to get extra 5 yards for fun. No. They run a draw play with Ramondre. He gains 15 yards or whatever, is getting tackled and pitches the ball back. And I'm like, oh, my God, thank the Lord that didn't go wrong because that's just a stupid play. I mean, why would you pitch the ball back? Gets to Jacoby, and then he starts running backwards, which, first of all, you got to get to the end zone on the opposite way. So running backwards does nothing. And then I see him square up, and I'm like, what's going on right now? And then here's my thing, CJ. Here's my thing. Throwing it backwards is bad enough. Who are you throwing it to? You're not throwing it to Tyreek Hill, who, if you remember that Dallas game a couple years ago, took like a screen pass at like the end of the half and weaved through everybody and scored a touchdown. Cool. You're passing it to Mac Jones. What in the absolute fuck, excuse me, is Mac Jones going to do with the ball? Have you seen the guy try to run?
Yeah.
Nothing was going to happen. So you did that for absolutely no reason. And not only was it to Mac Jones, he threw a dot to Chandler Jones. Wrong Jones, brother.
Right.
Wrong one.
Jones.
So
you got like 3 other Joneses on the
it,
team too.
Just baby bodies Mac to the ground and the pass. I mean, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. And listen, is it Overreaction Tuesday for us? Sure it is.
Overreaction Tuesday.
Well, guess what? It's Overreaction Tuesday for me because it's an overreaction and I don't actually kind of want this to be true. Bro, Jacoby should never play the rest of the year. What are we doing, bro? What are we talking about? How do you make
Can't go that far, but it is disappointing that he was one of the guys that, you feel me? Because he is one of our most consistent players, But that was tough.
Our best wide receiver on the third highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL, Jacoby Myers, number 3 on every other team. But that's a different story for a different day. Listen, all I'm saying is the loss is disgusting. The team will never be good ever again. I will say this right now. Until Patricia is gone and Bill is no longer the GM. Not the coach. He can be the coach. Bill cannot be the GM, and the team will never be good again. I will say.
Well, one out of two could happen. One out of two could happen.
Wow. I think the second one is honestly, well, I don't know if it's bigger because Matt Patricia is absolutely awful, and the only place she should ever be allowed to call plays is on Madden, and even then, somebody should be over his shoulder monitoring it.
No, it sucks he can't draft skill players because everybody else he could draft. I mean, Marcus Jones, when he's on the field, he makes plays. I know he gave up the touchdown, which is questionable. It wasn't a touchdown, but he's been making plays. Obviously, he got an interception, he got a punt return, he got a touchdown off a screen. This guy is everywhere. So he's a young player. We'd like to see him more.
It was a fair call by the officials. The officials are never wrong. The NFL does things.
It's definitely sarcasm, yeah.
I see you there.
I see you, brother. But yeah.
What's going on as well?
Yeah, Michael, what's going on, my guy? Just a tough loss. Definitely one of the saddest, definitely the saddest loss as a Patriot fan. No question about it. I can't even think of one that's worse than this. To keep it 1,000 with you, and there's been some like the Ravens losses in the playoffs. So I'll say eight. The Giants.
Yeah, the
Giants. Both.
Yeah, true.
Both. But this one is just
the Dolphins a couple years ago.
I don't even remember the Dolphins one. I remember it, but it's not. You know what I mean? This one is crazy. This one is crazy. This is one of the saddest losses ever for a team. Period. Like not even just for the Patriots, just as a team. To go out like that. Just to have low football IQ in the last seconds of a game, very troubling. So they don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
No.
And it speaks for it. We said these were the 2 games they needed. And then, just try to make something happen with the next 3. But now it's like
7-10.
It's so sad. That's what I mean. I say this every week. It's just so sad how it's formulating. That's the sad part. If it's 7-10, you're just like, all right, we're getting blown out in some games and, we're getting completely blown out and outmanned. That's not even the case. Even with the talent we got, we don't get babied. Like, yeah, a couple games, Lamar went crazy beginning of the season. He's healthy, obviously. That's a tough one. But our losses, just like this one, is crazy. It's just, it's a disappointing season. it's a disappointing season, and hopefully, everybody, Bill looks himself in the mirror and realizes he made a mistake picking Patricia as offensive coordinator. Just especially for development for a young quarterback, it doesn't help. He's not getting better. He doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. The offensive line isn't great by any means. I mean, it's not awful, but it needs help. It needs help.
Those tackles need Jesus.
We're gonna. Well, I would assume that we do drive a tackle, but they need a lot of work. They need skill position players, man. It's time. It's time to either, start going up, trading up for these talent, or spending a couple of dollars to get these top guys, because you need game changers. Just real fast. You go to that Bears Eagles game. You look at the difference. Hurts has Smith and Brown. You look at all the plays that happened in that game, the big time plays, third downs, fourth downs, that third down to end the game, hurts the Brown to finish it. Like,
end of the Chargers game, Justin Herbert can throw it up to Mike Williams.
Keenan Allen on the left side on fourth down. Like, you need those type of game changers on your team, man. You need that. You need that, and Mac doesn't have that. And I'm not saying Mac is going to be this all-world type guy, but when you have a first-year offensive play caller ever calling plays in professional football, and then you have mediocre talent. I mean, he had better talent than Alabama.
Yeah.
So, and everybody that's playing well, that he was playing with at Alabama, is playing well in the NFL. So that just Najee, Smith, Waddle, all of them make plays every single Sunday. So, but yeah, it's just a disappointing loss. Just a disappointing loss, and it's just like tough to even talk about football, bro. It was really tough. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Just
it's the worst play in NFL history. That surpassed the Colts punt against us. Because at least that punt was just something stupid. That's literally lost the game. You literally lost the game on the dumbest play I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that surpasses the Colts for sure. I mean, that's it. All you had to do is just lay down, go into OT, be different. It's just low football IQ, and that's sad. That's un-Patriot way. Patriots never play like that. They never do that. So that's what made it even worse. Even without without Brady being there, they weren't making plays like that. So I don't know, man. So Jacoby K said he made a mistake. Ramondre said he made a mistake. Max said he made a mistake. I appreciate the speaking up and saying I appreciate that, but yeah, man, it's disappointing. This is one of the most disappointing seasons in Patriots history. Easily. They did him dirt. They're doing themselves dirt. I mean, they had opportunities to win games and do something special for a season. There are some bright moments with the team, but just the execution every Sunday is just inconsistent, too conservative. It's sad. It's sad, but credit to the Raiders. They made plays when it mattered in the fourth quarter. Carr made plays when it mattered. Hit the guys when necessary. I feel like we played a great game up until that last drive, and then obviously at the end of the game. Played a great game. Ramondre did great. Defense, Kyle Duggar got a pick six. Defense was making plays. So the talent is there. It's just
not enough.
Yeah, just not enough. It's sad. Sad, man.
Well, let's move on from our own personal demons. Now we started off with where we usually would have, and that would be on Thursday night, which last Thursday night game of the year this year is this week. So you know, forgot about all that. Now we look forward to the Saturday games, but that'll be for next week, and we'll talk about the 49ers and the Seahawks right now because the 49ers went into Seattle and did what they were supposed to do. They won the game. 21-13. Didn't really feel that close, honestly. Definitely did not feel like a 21-13 game. You know, I'm pretty sure I think the Seahawks scored more towards the end of the game, kind of to kind of make it like a, oh look, hey, we did something.
Right.
But it wasn't anything special. The 49ers were definitely in control. Brock Purdy, another good game, 17-26, 217, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey, man, it's just unbelievable. 26 carries, 108 yards. He had a touchdown, 6 catches, 30 yards. Kittle, hell of a game, 4 for 93, 2 touchdowns. So he showed out. And let me tell you, this is where I see the difference in teams and play calling. That first touchdown to Kittle is one of the better play designs that you'll see. They run 2 fake screens, one to the left, they turn around to the right. Kittle's blocking the whole time. He releases, just streaks right up the middle, easy touchdown. And I mean, that's the difference in what certain teams can do and what other teams can't. I mean, that was just that's a great play design, a great time to call the play, obviously, and it all worked out. The defense, San Francisco's defense is absolutely unbelievable. You obviously see why they are the number one defensive team. They gave up 277 yards in the game. I mean, San Francisco had 381, so more than 100 yards more than them. Only gave up 70 yards on the ground. And like I said, it was only 21-13 because Seattle scored towards the end of the game. They had a sack in the game. They dominated time of possession, 33 minutes. It's just a very good team. Like, San Francisco is unbelievable. Now, you would think you lose Trey Lance at the beginning of the year, and you're like, okay, but at least we have Jimmy. Then they lose Jimmy, and it's like, damn, like, what is this team going to become now? And I'm not saying that I think Brock Purdy is going to be, some all-time great. Maybe he is, and maybe this is the beginning of some crazy, Tom Brady-like story. Because obviously, I'm sure when Brady came in for Bledsoe, nobody was like, yeah, I'm sure Tom Brady's going to go on to become the greatest player of all time. So, like, you obviously got to let things play out, I'm trying to say, for a little bit. But the first few games that he's played in, he's played very, very well. He does just enough. He makes some pretty decent throws. He makes the athletic play every once in a while that you're like, oh, kind of just honestly didn't expect him to make. Like that game last week when, he made against the Bucks. I don't know why. That's the play I always keep going back to, but just slightly impressive to me, runs out of the pocket, linebackers bearing down on him, just does a little slide step out of the way, gets the ball out of the way, throws a dot down the field. So if he's playing well, they're fine. But honestly, even if he's not, they might be fine because we've seen it with Jimmy. They do enough. The defense this might be the best defensive unit they've had out of all of their runs, if I'm being honest.
Got to get to the ball. But yeah, it's looking great.
Yeah, no, of course. But like, even I think this defense is better than the defense they had during the Super Bowl run. And I mean, the ultimate safety blanket now is the fact that you have McCaffrey in the backfield.
Yeah, you got two security blankets. Yeah.
I mean, you have Kittle, you got McCaffrey, and then obviously you got to hope that Debo comes back by the end of the year, which it sounds like he should, or at least in the playoffs. But I mean, if you're having a bad game,
that's a big bullet.
If you're having a bad game for Brock Purdy, you can listen, CMC. We're going to need you to run the ball 25 times, and he's a true running back, where it's like, okay, he's done that before, you can do it again. And the offensive line is so good that they have the ability to do that as well. Trent Williams obviously leading the way. So
Right.
Listen, it's a dangerous, dangerous team. Seattle falls out of the playoff mix with this one. Um, they've kind of sputtered here recently, but I mean, I guess you can't really complain about them losing to San Francisco because a lot of teams are going to lose to San Francisco. Uh, and right now, honestly, it just looks like a two-horse race in the NFC. If I'm being honest, it looks like a San Francisco Philadelphia crash course. Uh, and honestly, I hope that's what we get because, in my opinion, I feel like every other team gets dog walked by either one of them. Like I think
Playoffs is different.
playoffs are different, but listen, we'll talk about the Viking game obviously coming
You
up.
thought the Bengals going to the AFC last season? No.
Well,
No.
no.
Exactly.
Well, then again, that's different though because going into the year you didn't. But
Right.
once they got to
That's
the
what I'm saying.
playoffs,
Right. That's no. No, everybody picked it. Everybody was saying Chiefs.
well,
Everybody
no,
was
I,
saying
listen, I
Chiefs.
won't lie. I picked the Chiefs, but I said it. I thought they did beat them earlier in the year. So listen. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. It's any given Sunday.
Exactly.
We saw that this week as well.
Any given Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. It's any given.
Sheesh.
Yeah, the 49ers are very, very good.
Yeah, the 49ers are very, very good. The only thing for me is for whoever's going to be their quarterback, are they going to have that quarterback that can make that play in the playoffs? That 3rd and 10, that 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
When you need to either extend the drive, when you need to extend the drive to score, or to keep the ball away from the opposing quarterback and close. Do you have a quarterback that could do that? Do you have a quarterback that can make those plays? Mahomes, he can make those plays. Burrow can make those plays. Hurts, we're seeing right now. He's been making those plays. Can he continue to make those plays in the playoffs? I think he can.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, same thing. Herbert, hopefully we get to see it this season. So
looking that way.
Right, exactly, which is good. So that's the thing for San Fran. Everybody knows that missed pass for Garoppolo, and we know he doesn't play great in the playoffs because even though that team may be ranked whatever, it's a brand new season. It's a brand new season, and teams have time to game plan. You're only focused on one team. It's just so many things that go into game planning and then learning about that team before you play them. And if you sleep and you think you're gonna automatically get that dub, you could lose that game easily. And then it's fourth quarter with 3 minutes left and you're down 10, and you can't come back. You're like, oh, how did we lose this? So that's for San Fran. That's the main question is, do they have that quarterback that can make that play? Could Purdy make those plays? We're gonna find out. And if he can, then the likelihood of them making the Super Bowl is going to be even higher. And then for the Seahawks, I mean, they got to try to close out. They got to try to do something because you got the Commanders there, the Packers trying to make moves, the Lions trying to make moves, the Giants trying to continue. So it's definitely not smooth sailing for the Seahawks, man. They got to lock in. Every dub matters.
Still think Gino's getting 30?
I said if we get them to the playoffs.
Okay.
So if you don't get them to the playoffs, then nah.
Because it's funny. Was it this week or maybe last week? On Monday Night Countdown, they were having that same debate, and I remember that we had talked about that. I think it actually might have been Thursday. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick said he's not. I think Sherman was like, oh, yeah, he definitely is. So, I don't know. Well, listen, we're only going to find out when free agency comes. So, listen, we move on, though, to gosh, if only the Patriots didn't do that. The game everybody would be talking about the most because it is the greatest comeback in NFL history. the largest margin ever in a game. The Colts up 33-0. 33-0 at halftime, not the first quarter, because then, like, maybe that's even a little bit more respectable. First quarter you just get blown out, and the rest of the game you anchored down. Nah, 33-0 at halftime, and end up losing the game 39-36 to the Vikings in overtime. And man, oh man, can things just flip on a dime. They really, really can. Because, I mean, even coming out of the of half, Vikings get the ball, they punt. But the Colts ended up punting to right back. They go down, score a touchdown, so they're finally on the board. Then the Colts come down, they kick a field goal, so a nice little response. And even at that point, 36-7. Who cares about a touchdown anyway? Well, next drive, Vikings go down, score another touchdown. 36-17 or 14. You still don't really care. Then the Colts punt again. Vikings go down, score a touchdown. Okay, 36-21. It's like nice little story, but it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Colts got to close it out, right?
Yeah. Well, then the Colts punt again.
Crazy.
Colts punt again, and then the Vikings get intercepted. So now you're really like, okay, 36-21. You had all the momentum because you scored a touchdown. You made them punt again, and you would go and score a touchdown, make them punt again. You're like, okay, all the momentum, go down, score, whatever. They throw the interception. So now it's dead. It's over. CJ, the game's over now. That was the one that broke the camel's back. Well, then the Colts start at their own 2-yard line, take 56 seconds off the clock and punt. Well, the Vikings go down, score a touchdown, 36-28. Well, that's you're getting a little concerning now. Then the Colts fumble, but the Vikings turn it over on downs. Then the Colts said, I raise you turning it over on downs, and we'll do it too. They go down, score a touchdown, and end up tying the game.
Crazy.
They both punt the ball. The game ends. Well, regulation ends, I should say. Overtime, Vikings get it first. They punt. Colts punt it back. Vikings go 55 yards, kick a field goal to come back and win. I mean, I'm just sitting there in absolute amazement watching it. Because, like I said, at every point you were waiting. It was sort of like oh, well, this is cool, but they're not going to do it because of this. It was like, oh, look, all the Vikings have all the momentum, but Kirk just threw an interception. Like, okay, well, that just ruined everything. Like, this was going to be a fun comeback, but nothing now. And then it's like, oh, the Vikings have all the momentum again, but they turn over on downs. Now it's really over. And it was just never over. I mean, Matt Ryan, talk about going down in infamy for all the wrong reasons. I mean, like Matt said,
the wrong reasons.
Biggest choker of all time, potentially. I mean, biggest blown regular season lead, Super Bowl lead. I don't know what the international lead thing is. I don't know.
International lead is crazy.
I mean,
shut out New York Knicks 8 in a row. Let's get it.
I did see that they just won. You know, CJ, I'm happy for you during this holiday season. But Wacklins for choking on big games. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was getting at. Vic, you're crazy. You're crazy. But I mean, and listen, that route by Justin Jefferson on Gilmore, somebody put that in the Louvre. I don't want that at the NFL Hall of Fame. I want that as an art picture hung up right next to Mona Lisa. That's where I want it.
It's one of the best. Telling you, stays healthy. He's going to go down top 5.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's on pace to break the single season record. Definitely on pace for that, too. I think he needs to average like 125 yards the last couple of games. So definitely possible for him. But, I mean.
What a game.
What a game. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's so much happened It was literally the most unbelievable thing I've watched.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane, man. Everybody just wanted to destroy the Vikings. Twitter was going wild. This is the Vikings, they fraud. I know you was going crazy
I
in the
did call
chat.
him a fraud. Guess what?
Frauds,
I
this and
stand
that.
by it.
But they persevered and they fought through. They made the plays necessary. It's just, man, you got to play damn near close to perfect football. And that's what they did. You know, to go on a 39-3 run is pretty insane. Pretty insane. In a football game, a lot of things have to go right.
A lot.
And the Colts just, I don't know. I mean, Jeff Saturday
That ends it, doesn't it?
ends what?
The Jeff Saturday experience.
Yeah,
I think if they won like 2 or 3 games,
the Cowboys won, and this.
I think if they win like 2 or 3 games during his little run, maybe they try and bring him back. But I mean,
I don't think so, man. Listen, they don't. He doesn't have. He didn't really have opportunity to build his team. He accepted the job, but this is the team he has right now. This is not the team that he built. They could look at it from a moral victory side, but they do need a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. That's limited. That changes a lot. You know, you're up 33-0 with an elite quarterback. More times than not, that lead is not being blown.
I don't even think you got to be elite. You got to be not awful.
True, but I'm saying if they did have a guy that, it's a game changer. So, you know, they're losing. You could say it's good for them, because why should they be winning that game? They're not making the playoffs. So it's sad how they lost, but this is good for them. They need a quarterback. I'm staying consistent on my stance on the Colts that I've been all week. I mean, throughout all the weeks.
True.
I mean, this is a bad loss, but it's still a loss, which gets them closer to a quarterback. So, and they're gonna need that, because like we predicted, when Lawrence had structure, he was gonna be good. And here we are. Right now, we're seeing him flourish. Right now, towards the end of this,
that he's on right now.
Towards the end of the season, yeah, and he's playing great football. So they're gonna need a guy. You're gonna need to find a guy for the Vikings. It's scary. You're just scared as a fan. You have to be. You have to be scared as a Viking fan. Yeah, you won the game, but it's just like you were down 33-0 to the Colts. So if that's another team, y'all going home. That's in the playoffs. Y'all going home. Now, it does show the perseverance and the resiliency of your squad to come back down and come back and win the game in front of the home crowd. Not making the home crowd go home and look like, you know, like, damn, we got embarrassed for yourself as well. You don't want to get embarrassed on your home field. That's embarrassing. You're the first game on a Saturday primetime game. You talk about Kirk Cousins in primetime games.
Whew.
So it's like, you know, what? Yeah. So listen, they show resiliency, they show perseverance. But if you're a fan, I know you still have trust issues. You just have to. It's just you just see it's so inconsistent, and it relies, and a lot of it has to do with Kirk. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with Kirk, and then the defense as well. Kirk and the defense, they have to lock in. They're 11-3, and no one believes in them. But If they believe in themselves, that's all that matters. And that's what they did on Saturday.
Plus 2 point differential. And they are 11-3. I mean, that's why I stand. Listen, I was tweeting out that they were frauds. Shout out freezing cold takes that I wasn't put on there. But I, listen, like I said, I'll stick by, just like you stuck by your Colts need to lose prediction. I'm sticking by the fact that they're one and done if they play the right team, maybe.
Yeah, if they get blown out, when they lose, they lose bad. But when they win, they win all their close games. That's the type of team that they are.
Can we talk about Dak if we haven't already? Oh, we will.
We'll get to that for sure, brother.
Gridiron, welcome back. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you kicked COVID right in the ass. What's going on? Vikings are fool's gold. I don't believe in them. I'm right there with Gridiron. I also have another question. I was thinking about this, just because I'm curious of where we get the audience from. How'd you find us, Gridiron? Let me know in the comments. Were you scrolling through? Said, "Hey, look, those two wonderful guys over there. Let's listen to the pod." A little recommendation, maybe. I'm just curious. Curious how you found the kids. But yeah, no, I don't listen, Gridiron. I'm right there with you. I have zero faith. I've seen them play decent teams, and it's never good. They should have lost the Bills game if it's not for one of the craziest endings ever. They should have lost this game. They got destroyed by the Cowboys and the Eagles. They lost to the Lions already. I mean, I don't.
When they're on, they play really well, and they know how to win close games.
Yeah, they certainly
know how to win close games. They know how to come back. Also, because the Bills game and also this game, the Colts game. But when they lose, it's because who they've lost to. And how they've lost. If they had lost close games to the Eagles and the Cowboys, I don't think anybody would say this. But it's the fact that their losses are so bad, and then it's to the other, their competitors in terms of their conference
that they have to go through.
Right, exactly. So that's what makes them so untrustworthy. But this was a big win. They needed this one for sure, and tough for the Colts, but is it really?
Yeah. We'll go on to definitely a game that didn't live up to the expectations of the Saturday game that preceded them. I'll tell you that. Browns got a boring 13-3 win over the Ravens. Honestly, missed the first half of the game because the scheduling geniuses put it only on NFL Network. So unless you had the local broadcast, you couldn't watch the start of the game because the Viking Colt game wasn't over yet. So missed, and it wasn't allowed to be put on Sunday Ticket. They had no red zone either. So missed a good portion the first half. I mean, everybody did, like I said, unless you had the local broadcast. And again, I guess we didn't really miss much. It was only a 13-3 game. And CJ, I don't know if I paid attention too much to this one. I kind of expected. I think I at least had the Browns winning this game. I sure hope I did. But I mean, listen, without Lamar, there's no point in watching the Ravens. I'm not going to lie. I think that they're a very, very boring team to watch. Huntley 17 of 30, 138. Why is Lamar played in this game? Do they have another Lamar Jackson on the team?
They might. Yeah.
I guess they do because I'm looking at the stats. It says Lamar Jackson 101. Yeah. Listen, I didn't pay too close of attention, but I will say the one thing that did come out of this game that's definitely encouraging: J.K. Dobbins, 13 carries, 125 yards. I mean, damn, 9 yards a carry. So obviously he was doing his thing. But CJ's the same old story. That's the only thing they can do. They just claimed Sammy Watkins off waivers because he got
cut by the Packers.
He got cut by the Packers. They just placed Duvernay on the IR, so that's another person. And here's the other thing, and maybe it's because Lamar is not playing and you have to focus on Lamar when he is actually playing because he can do things outside the pocket. Where did Mark Andrews go? Like, I don't know. I think I don't.
Probably not 100%.
I don't remember the exact stat though, but he hasn't been over 60 yards since week like 6 or 7. I
It's
mean,
probably not 100%, or just teams doing a good job. Just it's like, yo, this is the only guy we have to stop. That's
right.
it. I mean, and then we know Greg Roman is not the best play caller, so is he putting him in other positions on the field to succeed? I doubt that. So I
So
think it could be a multitude of things. But
let me ask you another question.
And also Lamar being out.
Let me ask you one more question. Now, listen, it's only been 3 weeks, which is why it's a question, not a statement. When you start getting a little, hey, Deshaun, where's the old Deshaun? Because I think they've scored 2 offensive touchdowns since he's been back. I want to say it is. So the offense hasn't been very good. I mean, he was 18 of 28 in this game, 161. Now, listen, that's why I said it is a question. I'm not Deshaun will never play good again. But is there a point in this year, or do you just give him the entire season being like, bro, he was out for 2 years, we got to let him get comfortable? Or is there like a point where you're like, this is a little concerning?
No, I mean, I'm not really concerned.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned. Just gotta keep getting reps. Got to keep getting reps. He pretty much missed 2 years. And football is not. You gotta trust them. You gotta trust your linemen. It's just a lot. Like it's just not just just go back in there and you just throw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns.
It's not baseball, basketball.
You gotta understand your line, the field, run around in the field, and just understanding. Yeah, just seeing things again, seeing coverages again, seeing how guys are playing you, receivers, getting back on time with your receivers. It's gridiron.
Didn't mean to block you out there, CJ.
Very good, man.
Said, yeah, man, I beat COVID like it was just Saturday. I found you guys just doing a random search for an NFL stream on Tuesday night. Found you guys and 2 others I like. You and CJ better. Hey,
appreciate you, man.
I'll take that. You guys are both very knowledgeable. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, they just need that talent. The Ravens, they need the talent, man. And then for the Browns, it's going to take a little minute for Deshaun. It just is, but they just keep making them reps, and they're going to be fine. But I definitely thought they were going to win this game just because Lamar's not playing for the Ravens, and we already know they don't have anybody else. Dobbins looked good though. Dobbins did look good, so that's encouraging if you're a Ravens fan. But outside of that, you probably knew you weren't going to win this one.
Yeah, not much of an opportunity there. And obviously with their loss, we know that the Bengals, who we'll obviously get to later on in the show, won. So the Bengals are now the division leader. Ravens fall down to the wild card. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out as well. But let's go on again to the Bills and the Dolphins, which was a very big game, obviously in the division, but clearly means a lot to the Bills more because they are still looking to keep that number 1 seed and make sure that the playoffs go right through Buffalo, which, listen, CJ, we're in New York right now. It's quite cold. You can only imagine up there in Buffalo. So if they're going to force teams to come up there, obviously they're kind of used to it, and other teams might struggle a little bit. But as for the game itself, it was looking good for Buffalo. They were up 21-13 going into half. Things kind of turned around. The Dolphins ended up outscoring them 13-0 in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, man, it really picks up, obviously, because that's when that real movie fun football that I think a lot of people like to watch too started. It starts snowing. You see the field starting to get covered. Obviously, there was a big snowstorm there before, but it had already all gotten cleared out. We saw the Bills fans throwing the snowballs and things. They said it.
Wilding. wilding, bro.
Yeah, they were having a good time for sure.
Nah, that's say they throw a snowball when the players slept. Not even a fin, a dolphin, a bill too.
I know. Then the referee came out and said, "Listen, if it hits anybody, that's a 15-yard penalty on the Bills." So immediately it
Like
stopped. But
no type of self control.
there was a good point after the game though made by Jordan Poyer. What if a Dolphin fan just chucked a snowball and it hit somebody? How would the refs technically know that it was a Dolphin fan, not a Bill fan?
Either way,
They could have
it's
used it to
dumb.
their advantage.
It's dumb either way, bro.
Oh no.
It's like these guys get paid, you know. Means that you throwing snowballs at the players. Y'all stupid. I can't be that stupid.
A lot of adult beverages going on in those stadiums. I can
Nah, for sure.
I would imagine contributed heavily.
Nah, for sure.
But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, towards the end of the game, Bills are down. They need something, and I think the big turning point was that 44-yard run from Josh. He takes a shotgun, a snap. I don't know if it was a draw play or was it passing and then he just ran it anyway. But 44 yards, he goes down. But they end up scoring the touchdown. Then they need the 2-point conversion. They do a little QB power. He jumps over the pile. It looked like that it had gotten knocked out before he had crossed the line, but it didn't. So they were successful on the 2-point conversion. The Bills defense then ended up getting a stop, and then the Bills went down from their own 7 too. The Bills started that possession, the final possession of the game, at their own 7. Went 16 plays, 65 yards, and kicked a field goal as time expired. So, listen, like I said, it was a very, very big. Yeah, Tyler Bass. You know, and here's the thing, right? Like, this is why Josh Allen works for the Bills. Like, you need a quarterback because listen, I think there was like 15-mile-per-hour winds, snow, all this craziness going on. You need a quarterback like that can play through that stuff. Like we've seen CJ. We've seen it before too. It's raining or it's windy in Foxborough. Brady had a good arm. It didn't matter. Like they could still pass the ball. They could still do what they had to do because you have a good arm. And obviously, Josh is a gigantic human being, has an absolute cannon. So he can cut through the wind. He can run it if things, aren't going their way. But yeah, this was a big win for the Bills. They needed this because it obviously, listen, the Chiefs did struggle, which once again we will get to. But if they want to keep that 1 seed, they're probably going to have to win out because you would imagine that the Chiefs win out. It just feels like that's what's going to happen for them. It just never feels like they're going to lose. Although, like I said, they did struggle this week, and it is any given weekend now, not only Sundays. But a very, very fun game and really picked up in the fourth quarter, obviously. And there's nothing like a good snow game. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, Miami, they had a good game plan. They wanted to run the football. Mike McDaniel, that's his calling card. That's what got him this job. And he was the run game coordinator for the 49ers. And that's what they did. They were running the football, working play action. Tua would get some solid passes. That pass to Waddle for the touchdown. It's a big play for them. Tyreek, he tweeted, he said he could have played better. He definitely could have played better. There were moments where they needed him. There were some catches that I'm used to him, coming down with, that he didn't come down with. That would have been big for the team. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But this was they lost this game. Was 3 in a row now. They've lost 3 in a row. But this one, I like they fought. They definitely fought. And I think people thought they were going to get blown out because of the snow and this and that. And it was a close game. It came down right to the wire. It came down to a last game field goal. So a last second field goal. And Buffalo, they did what they needed to do. Protect home court, a home field. And same thing, exactly. Putting up 32, Josh Allen making big plays. And that's exactly what you said about the arm strength. That's a big deal. That's a factor. And in those conditions, that's how you have to draft, and that's a smart GM. Oh, we play in this weather. I'm gonna need a strong arm quarterback, and it's worked for it worked for them. And it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely can't have a pea shooter out there if you're playing for the Bills. You're gonna have a lot of not favorable weather, and you're gonna need somebody that can take care of things. And listen, it wasn't even really Diggs that was the big thing in this game. The Bills ran the ball a lot. Um, I mean, Josh Allen had 10 carries himself. Singletary had 13 carries. Cooks had 5 carries. So they were trying to run the ball, which obviously we've been saying for years. They just have to try and do better. But I mean, Dawson Knox had a very, very good game. 6 catches. He had 98 yards. He had that touchdown. And here's the other thing too, CJ, that I that has to be encouraging if you're looking for the Bills to go all the way. Obviously, if you're a Bills fan, it's another week where Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over, and this is actually no way. I think he fumbled. I lied, but he didn't throw an interception, which had been the problem. Taking too many chances. It felt like listen, we can use the points here, but he would make some throw over the middle of the field, and it just wouldn't work out. 4 touchdowns in this game, no interceptions. 25 of 40. Obviously, you want the completion percentage to be a little bit higher, but like I said, in this weather, all the things going on, like that's what you want. You want to make sure that the team is rounding into shape now. Like you can peak early in the year, but if you're not going to do it the entire year, you peaked too early, and then obviously you don't want your team to peak, too late, and not go, not be able to go on that run because you started out slow, but. If he can cut those turnovers down like he's been doing the last couple of weeks, the defense is going to continue to play the way that they're playing. I mean, listen, they do have to try and fix up the run game. Maybe that's just, practicing in better defensive play calling, maybe stacking the box a little bit more, putting the corners more on one-on-one situation. Because, listen, they have guys over there. I mean, you have, what's his name? Tre'Davious White, right? He's still there?
Tre'Davious White, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we know that he was a Pro Bowler prior to everything. So, listen, maybe it's about putting them in one-on-one situations a little bit more, or in situations that, are maybe obvious rundowns. Because I'll tell you what, you won the game, but letting Miami and Raheem Mostert average 8 yards a carry, and here's the thing that I'm a little – listen, I know that they were down in the game, but – he's averaged 8 yards a carry. He only got 17 carries.
Mostert?
Yeah, Mostert only got 17 carries. You're averaging 8 yards. And I feel like that's what the NFL is sometimes, where I feel like people overthink. And it's not only in this game, you see it a lot, like even with the Titans sometimes because they have Derrick Henry, but you're averaging 8 yards a carry. Just run the ball. I know that passing is more fun for everybody else probably, and it's a passing league and this, that, and you have Tyreek and you have Waddle, and you had all this faith in Tua coming into the season, so you want 8 yards a carry.
But you also got to think about what that defense is in. Maybe they do call a run play, but when they look at the defense, the box is loaded. Then you check out of that run into a pass. So those situations happen a lot. So but I feel what you're saying though. I feel what you're saying. Stay aggressive, and for a game like that, you gotta keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. And running the football is obviously the number one way to do that.
See, I get what you're saying as well, but for me, it's almost a when you prove it to me, I'll change thing. You know what I mean? Even if you stack the box, prove to me you can stop the run right now because we're running it all over you. And then listen, maybe I'll change it up after that. So, listen, obviously we don't know the play calls, we don't know the situations that were going on, but when you average 8 yards a carry, because even Salvin Ahmed, who had 6 carries for them, averaged 7.2 yards a carry.
Yeah, they were running the ball. They were working on the play action. Those linebackers started to come down. And Tua was hitting Waddle. Tua was hitting Wilson. He was hitting those guys.
So, but big win for the Bills. Dolphins on a little bit of a skid there. So, hey, we'll see how everything pans out into the future. But we go to Sunday now. That would be the Falcons and the Saints. Saints pick up a 21-18 victory over the Falcons. What's his name? I can't think of his name now. The quarterback. He just made
Desmond Ritter.
Rattler? Yeah.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter. Why am I thinking Rattler? What am I talking about?
Probably Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Yeah, Ritter makes his debut in this game. Listen, 13 of 26, only 97 yards. But this is another team that was running the ball well. Tyler, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm not even.
Algier.
Algier, there we go. See? Yeah. See? Guys, CJ's the smart one on the show. Let's be real here. 17 for 139, 8 yards a carry. So he was having a big day. Yeah, big day. Big day. Drake London, he was 7 for 7 catches, 70 yards, but obviously had the huge fumble. Huge fumble. That really just ended the game for them. But I'll be honest, game wasn't really on the game wasn't on the screen. You can only pick 4 for a Sunday ticket. Didn't make the cut, so I did not watch too much of it. But listen, technically, both of these teams are alive because the South is just absolutely terrible. Which we obviously all thought it was going to be a Bucs runaway division because we thought the rest of the teams were going to be bad. Nope, turns out the Bucs are bad too. So technically, big win for the Saints.
Yeah, big win for the Saints. We don't know what's going to happen with the Bucs in these next 4 games. So anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
big W for the Falcons. They played solid defense. For them to be in that game at the end, the way Ritter was playing, wasn't passing the ball great, using his legs at times. He's athletic. But yeah, they were running the football. Patterson got the touchdown. Drake London was playing well up until the fumble, unfortunately. But this is a big win, division win. So it's just the Saints. They're gonna need help. They need a lot of help. And they gotta win out and they need help. So
yeah, because obviously the Bucs had the tiebreaker on them. They beat them both times when they faced. So
yeah, so they just gotta control this. This right now, this point of the season is even though it's just like this period in football, but now more importantly, this is the control what you can control part of the season. You just play your games, you win, and then whatever happens, you can't get mad because you didn't do enough earlier. But right now you control what you can control, and then see what happens. If you make it, great. If you don't, can't get upset because you had opportunities throughout the season to get 2 more wins, 3 more wins. Just didn't execute in those key situations, key moments throughout the game. So we're gonna see who's mentally tough in these next 3 games. When you see all those teams in the hunt, playoff picture right there, 7-7, 6-8, 5-9. You know what I mean? Those teams right there. We're gonna see who got some dogs, who got some mentally tough players over there. Go find out.
Yeah, and then to Gridiron's point, said I hate when teams debut a quarterback against a monster defense and the QB sucks. I feel like it does no one favors. This is unavoidable because of the Mariota injury, but still, I get what you're saying too. Because I remember earlier in the year when
got to get reps sometime or at some point.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I feel like Gridiron. I know. I'm with you on that because it's like earlier in the year when Kenny Pickett was finally in to come in. I think they had to play like the Bills. Was it the Rams? I mean, we didn't know the Rams were terrible yet, though. I don't know. He had to play like 3 very good on paper, at least, defenses in a row. And I was like, listen, and here's the thing. If you're going to be a quarterback in the NFL, you're going to have to play them anyway.
So what are we talking about? That's it. Wait. That's it.
It's
That's it right there, bro. You just answered you just ended the whole discussion
to
right there.
debut them against them, that's a rough spot
What'd
to
you say?
debut. To debut them against them, though, that's tough.
So what?
No prior NFL reps. Now you got to go against.
So we doing tune-ups for quarterbacks? What? Quarterbacks doing tune-ups? Man, you better go out there and play, bro. We drafted you in the first round. We need you to be a dog. If you lose, you lose, but you go out there and be a dog. What? Tune-ups for quarterbacks? What is this, bro? Man.
Listen, I would rather. I'm saying if I'm.
What are you talking about, man?
I would much rather debut my quarterback against a softer defense.
I want a softer defense, man. I want to debut my quarterback against dogs. I want to see what happens when we throw him when he's under the fire. When it's not going well, is he gonna still stand there and be that guy against a soft defense? You're gonna find that out anyway. No, but I want to find it out right now. First game, what's up?
All right, so they have
make it great. If he has a terrible, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about intangibles. I'm saying if he's not playing well, he's struggling, but he's still going out there playing his butt off, playing tough, making the right plays here and there, trying to get a good drive together, seeing good things. If you see some good things out of that loss, if they get blown out, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking if like I said, Ritter didn't have a great game stat wise, but they were still in the game.
Yeah,
they had an opportunity to go down and
try to win it until London fumbled.
So this is what I mean, intangibles. This is what I mean, intangibles. So we'll see. But yeah, what? Tune-ups for quarterbacks?
Listen, perfect world.
There's no such thing as a perfect world in football, bro. Notice.
I know.
Somehow that's not applicable to football. It's just not.
Trying.
How?
Because you can.
You don't think that soft defense is going to be like, yo, we're not going to let this rookie come and have a great.
Listen, they might think
that.
They
waited.
So it doesn't matter.
They waited. They skipped this defense so he could come play us. Oh, word. If I'm the coach, I'm telling my players, I'm like, this is what they're doing. They skipped this team to play us because they think this is going to be his breakout game, his debut breakout game, so he could look nice. That's y'all just gonna let him go do that?
Listen,
and that's when I will find out if I got dogs on my team.
See, so you can find out if you got the dogs on the defense, and I'll have a soft opening for my quarterback.
But there's no such thing as that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no such thing as a soft opening, though. There's no such thing. Even a 30-second team, 32nd ranked defense, is not just gonna let some rookie quarterback come in there and just ball out, bro. Unless he's a dog too, then that's different. But just we're gonna give him this game. No, you better go out there and ball out when it's time for you to ball out. If you're ready, it doesn't matter who you playing. If you the guy, it does not matter who you playing, rookie or not.
See, but here's my thing.
Tune-ups for quarterbacks?
Here's my thing.
What?
If I got a bad defense, and then the rest of the season we'll live in a magic world, that I would have to play the number one. If I had to play the top 5 defenses all in a row, but the game before I had the 32nd best defense, I would debut him against the 32nd best, and then he's playing the rest anyway. Either way, he's going to play the teams. You're going to find out if he's going to be a dog no matter what.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
at least let him get comfortable in one game.
If he's ready to play, he's playing. That's it. It don't matter who's on the schedule. If you're ready to play, you're playing.
Oh, well, yeah, listen, sometimes you don't have a choice, like in this situation.
Even if period, bro.
All right.
If you're ready to play, you showing me ready to play, you go out there and ball out, bro. If you don't play well, if the stats show you don't play well, cool. But what else are you doing? And again, they made it close. They made it close with a rookie quarterback. His first game against a great defense. Again, a great defense. He can learn a lot from this game. He could take this game. It could go a few ways. So that's what I'm saying. When you're saying, wait for the soft defense, that could be misleading film.
Could be. Or it could
because then you'll say this. You'll be like, oh, he's only because then they'll say this. They'll be like, oh, he's only playing well because he's going up against trash defenses, right?
Of course.
So which one is it, bro?
Okay, but even for
Which
this,
one is it? Oh, he's only kicking up because he's going up against the 32nd and the 30th
well,
defense.
yeah, but you can twist it around too. Oh, he only played that because he's playing a good defense. You got to give him a chance.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying though? I'm saying okay,
I think both ways you lose.
Nah, how you losing? If you got a dog, you're not losing, bro. If you got a dog, you're not losing. You don't think those L's that the Eagles were taking last year with Jalen Hurts? You don't think that's made him a better player?
Of course.
Right, because he's a dog, bro. So you got to find out, lose or win. You got to find out if you got a dog, and it's better for you to find out when you lose if you got a dog or not. Period. So, yeah, man, we're gonna find out. He's a young quarterback. He's young. He
looks about 45 though.
Yeah, but he's athletic. He can make plays. There was some times he was trying to climb there was some times they were trying to climb. The Saints did a great job. They contained on the outside, and whenever he tried to climb in the pocket and run in between the A and B gaps, they just honed in and then got to his legs and tackled him and wrapped him up. It's a great defensive game plan against a young guy that's going to want to get out of there quickly because he's young. It was a great game plan by Dennis Allen, and they made enough plays. They just made more plays.
You see that his job is reportedly safe no matter what?
Who you talking about, Dennis Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need a quarterback in this league, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like. What do you expect? Some people. You got Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, or your gadget Taysom Hill.
Yeah. You need a quarterback in this league, man. You need a QB, and in a division that's very winnable. So if whoever gets one first, jackpot.
Oh. Yeah. Especially because Brady's gone after the season. I think at least. And
I don't know. Either way, whether he's gone or whoever gets the quarterback, the next one first, because that's a division where they don't have a young quarterback on the come up.
No, they have. I mean, besides, I almost said Ritter again. Oh, no, it is Ritter.
Yeah. We're gonna see what he is. There's only one game. I can't put that stamp on him right now. But
Ritter and Rowell. I don't even know what I'm talking about on my own show. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but right now, they're the division that's starving for that young up and comer, and when they do get that, it's just going to make the league even better. So, and it's going to happen soon because we see a couple guys coming out.
Absolutely. Listen, realistically, another team that's starving because they're in that division are the Panthers, and they took on the Steelers. I guess technically the opposite way because Steelers were the away team, but whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Steelers went into Carolina and got the 24-16 win. CJ, once again, I don't lie to the people. This wasn't a game that was on the to-do list, but just looking at it, you clearly didn't win the game exactly because of Mitch, but you didn't lose it because of Mitch either. He was 17-22, 179, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Najee, 24 for 86, a touchdown. Jalen Warren, 11 for 38, a touchdown. Obviously did a lot of running in this game. I mean, just right there, that's 33 carries. Steven Sims had 2. Mitch had 6. So, I mean, we're into the 40 mark, basically. So they ran the ball a lot. Deontay Johnson, hell of a game. 10 catches. So, I mean, out of the 17 completions Mitch had, 10 of them went to Deontay Johnson, caught all 10 targets that he had, 98 yards. We talked about it last week, I believe it was, with Pickens. I think it was last week, maybe the week before. He had 5 targets, only caught 2, but he had 53 yards. So, you wonder if they're trying to get him into the offense a little bit more. They clearly need to because their offense is definitely not their strong suit. I believe Kenny Pickett is supposed to be back this week. I believe I had heard that on Twitter and, just floating around in the universe that Kenny Pickett is supposed to be back this week. So, obviously, you want to see that and him continue the development. Sam Darnold, 14-23, 225. I would imagine they ran the ball more than what I'm seeing on NFL.com because sometimes NFL.com just does not like to post things. At least I would hope they did because according to this, they only 16 times they ran. Chuba Hubbard was only 4 for 10. Deontay Foreman, 10 carries, 9 yards. Is this accurate, NFL.com?
Yeah, it is. Man, it's still defense, bro.
I mean,
TJ Watt, those guys still out there, man.
That is true. I mean, yeah, they only did have 209 yards of total offense. So,
Making plays, bro. I'm telling you.
wow, they really had 21 rushing yards. That is tough. That is absolutely tough. Um, but yeah, game was not on the docket for me. So, CJ, I hand it to you that maybe you can tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just honestly, this was a good game for Trubisky because he played terrible last week, and just all he has to do. I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin was telling him, all you have to do is just not turn the ball over, and we have a good chance to win every single game because we have a great defense. And he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he didn't turn the ball over, no interceptions, and that's why they're going to win this game. They're 6-8, which is crazy, and they've had two quarterbacks throughout the season. So it just speaks to how good Mike Tomlin is as a coach, because you, when you have a rookie quarterback and then a mediocre quarterback like Trubisky, and you lose T.J. Watt for a majority of the season, things could have gone much worse. Their record could be much worse. Their record could be like the Broncos.
Yeah.
But it's not. So it just speaks to their coaching and how a great job that Tomlin is doing right now. And yeah, this was just a great win for Pittsburgh going on the road, getting it done. And they're in the mix too a little bit now. At 6-8, you went out, you have a shot. Yeah, Pickens. Yeah, he has great catches. He has great catches, and I said this before. I want to see him have great games. And when those start to come along, that's when we're going to see an elite player. So yeah, good win for Pittsburgh.
All right. Well, we go on to Eagles and the Bears. Listen, this was not a very beautiful game for the Eagles. It was not. Um, but I think this is also the type of game that solar CJ, I'll pull it up for you. Come on. Yes,
Because it
sir.
was good.
Oh, look at that, the family love during this beautiful Christmas time. I could cry right now on the screen. But I think this is the type of game that the Eagles need to win, though. You know what I mean? Like I know we do the whole ugly win or ugly loss type of situation, and sometimes it's overblown, sometimes it's not, and sometimes people like it and others don't. Whatever. But I think this is like one of those games that the Eagles needed to have almost because it's also almost like a slap in the face of reality of like they. Now listen, I'm not saying they went into the game completely unprepared because no NFL team really does that. But it's probably look, we're 12-1. We're facing a 3-10 team. We can probably go in there. We got the best offensive line, defensive line. We got AJ. We got Devontae. We got Jalen. Like we can listen. Come on, let's go to Chicago, eat a deep dish, win the game, come back, get a Philly cheesesteak. Like, that can be the thoughts of some people. I mean, especially fans, if you're looking at this game. But Hurts struggled in this game, and obviously the big news that did come out of this game as well is that he has a shoulder problem. I guess it happened around the third quarter. He is questionable for the game against the Cowboys this week, which obviously, his health is more important than this one singular game. Because if you mess the health up, then the whole season might go away. Gardner Minshew looks like he's probably going to start. So hopefully it's only a 1 at max 2-week thing, and it's not a lingering injury that's really going to affect him. Because listen, they're having a great season. He's an MVP candidate. The odds completely flipped, though. I think Mahomes is like a minus 350 to win the MVP now because people think that Hurts is going to miss all this time. Which sucks for him because, like I said, I think the debate was over last week, and even this week when he played bad, he still had 3 rushing touchdowns. So, but yeah, listen, they didn't play particularly. Yeah, exactly. They didn't play particularly well. Hurts did have 2 interceptions in this game. Definitely, I think one of them he really does want back, and the other one was kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Right. Trying to make a play happen sometimes. Right?
Exactly. But even then, 22 with 37, 350 yards. Like I said, he didn't pass for a touchdown, but he did have 17 carries, 61 yards. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. A.J. Brown, 9 for 181. Smith was 5 for 126. Those were the 2 big ones because then after that, it's like Kenneth Gainwell with 9 yards receiving. So obviously most of the yards went to those two players. But like I said, I think this is one of those like struggle through games and still come out on top that you can really build upon of like, hey, this is what happens when we don't play our best football. This is what happens when we don't make mistakes. Like, we can't do this because if we do this against this team or this against this team, like we're not going to be here for much longer. You can use this tape as, maybe some of these players have been playing so well that you couldn't really call them out. Now, like, listen, you can get called out no matter how good you play. That's at least what Bill has always said. So maybe you can finally look at this tape though and be like, and I'm just throwing names out, like Reddick, why'd you do this here? Like that's going to lose us a playoff game in the future. Like you can't do this, blah blah. You got to remember the fundamentals. Um, Graham, why'd you do this? Or Jalen, like you can't be doing this. Like it's those little things that you can now look at the tape and be like, listen, we need you guys to shore these things up, or we're not going to get to the point that we want to get to. And they still win the game. They obviously still control the number one seed in the NFC. So it's a good win for them. Now, obviously, you just literally only care about Jalen Hurts' health. If you have to sit him the rest of the year, you probably just got to sit him the rest of the year and then hope he's good for the playoffs, because you would imagine they win one more game. I think if they win one more game, then they would have the number one seed because the Vikings already lost to them, and I think they're a game behind, so they would have to technically beat them out.
Right.
So I think they only need one more win here. So hopefully, Minshew can get that, and then you don't really have to worry about Hurts at all. And then for the Bears, listen, it's just the same old story. You have a guy in Fields, and you have to build around him. I'm not going to go into the whole cap space and draft pick thing. We do that every week, so I'm going to save it, for when that time comes. But I mean, 14 to 21, 152, 2 touchdowns through the air, 15 carries, 95 yards. He almost had a touchdown one of those carries if he didn't step out of bounds. That was an unbelievable play.
Yeah, I got the because even though I have the account, I still got the notifications on for when you tweet on Sundays. When I checked the play, so I checked it and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
I mean, spinning out of a
sack. I thought he scored.
I did, bro. I did too.
I looked at that. I was like,
he really just scored on that?
That would have been play of the year easily.
Unbelievable play. Absolutely unbelievable. So he's a magician. They're going to build around him. They have a guy, and the Eagles only care about Hurts right now. So, I mean, do you think do you guys think the Eagles run too many RPOs, not enough called runs? That seems to be a narrative in Philly today. Gridiron, I appreciate you so much, because I literally was going into the show thinking about this, and I literally just forgot to say it because once again, CJ, I'm a big Dan Orlovsky guy. He was tweeting out and talking about it, that they fall in love with the big play too much. And I think Hurts had like 20 passes or 15 passes over 20 yards. Like, listen, taking a shot is good because you got to keep the defense honest. You can't have them all just up, so you got to take a shot. But I mean, 15 passes over 20 yards, like you're taking a lot of like big plays down the field. And remember, the identity of this team, especially from last year, which is when they started winning, was the fact that they can run the ball down your throat. You got Mailata, Kelsey, Lane Johnson. Exactly. So you have this dominant line. And I mean, listen, Hurst had 17 carries, but their true running back, Miles Sanders, had 11. Like, and maybe it's because, they were struggling this game. I do think that they were down at one point, so maybe they're trying to pass and, catch back up. But I don't think it was ever to the point where they were down so bad they had to only pass. So, yeah, I would say that, like, while it's another one of those things, CJ, right, that we were just talking about before. Like, the pass is fun, but remember who you are. And Hurts can pass, but remember who you are. Like, Miles Sanders should be getting 18, 20 carries.
He should be. Sometimes with these teams, when it's time for them to get paid, they kind of switch it up and turn to play calling. Bro, watch out for that, bro. Watch out for that. But yeah, this is a important game. You pretty much broke down all the great points, and I said this earlier. I was like, the difference The key difference was the Eagles had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. If you look at those big plays that they made up and down the sideline. Smith made a big catches. That was a big catch in the beginning of the game, and Hurts rolled out to the left, threw that bomb to Smith. AJ Brown, any slant, that slant is there. It's money every single time. AJ Brown Hurts to Brown on a slant. It's just money. I think he's run the most slants in the NFL. That's what they said. That's what they were saying on the broadcast. And he's successful. He just beats his guy 1-on-1. He gets the ball. If he breaks a tackle, then you're in serious problem. You're in serious issues. Same thing for Smith. So when you have two guys that dynamic, plus the run game on top of that, I can see why they force the ball down the field as often as they do, because they trust those guys to make those plays, because that's how special they are. So that's why Hurts is going to throw the ball to them, because he trusts them that they're going to come down with the football more times than not. So I see what Olajuwon's saying. I see the criticism. You might want to switch it up. And, of course, the main thing is running the football for sure. But this was a close game. You're going to have games like this. Fields is a special player. And if the Bears could get this right in terms of their team building, this could be a nice game right here. This could be a nice little rivalry going forward. Who knows? Say the Bears figure it out and they build around Hurts Fields the right way. Eagles versus Bears, Hurts versus Fields. I'm here for that. So
I'm there every week.
I'm there for that, bro. I'm definitely there. So,
isn't it fun slowly seeing the new generation of rivalries being created?
It's a beautiful thing. And the NFC. NFC too. So I want to see more in the NFC, because that's all we talk about is the AFC QBs. So we're seeing Hurts and Fields. I'm happy that these guys stepping up and playing well. So now we're going to see these next 2 years, these wave of quarterbacks for these NFC squads. Who's going to be the guys on that side? That's going to be next up.
Yeah, really, because it really is that cycle, right? Like you had the AFC quarterbacks all kind of leave. It was Phillip, so that means the Chargers had to go get Herbert. You had, the Bills honestly just had nobody, so they had to go out and get Josh. But the Chiefs trade up because Alex Smith was on his way, and they want to get him out of there. So that's how they get Mahomes. Now it's like, okay, Brady's going to leave, which means the Bucs are going to need somebody, and Matt Stafford is getting to the end, so they're going to need somebody. Like
the whole NFC South, like we just talked about.
It's going to be that cycle. It's about to be that cycle that the AFC went through, where it's like now all the NFC teams need the quarterbacks instead. So
it's going to make for great football, bro. I can't wait.
Years.
And these two guys are going to be right at the top, especially in the NFC. And yeah, I don't want these guys to run all the time, but I also want them to use their gifts. Also, if it means
it's that fine line.
It's that fine line. Yeah, use your gifts for the gift of, for the goal, which is to win. But you also have to be smart. You have to be smart, because when it's time to pay you, they're gonna be like, you missed how many games your rookie season, second season? They're gonna start bringing all that stuff up, and they're gonna try to minimize your dollars. So be smart, but still use your gifts.
Absolutely. A man full of gifts, that would be Patrick Mahomes. And, I'm going to keep that same energy I just kept for the Eagles. A 30-24 win against the Texans. Now, listen, that's an ugly win. But then again, the Texans last week played the Cowboys very well. So, got to keep the exact same energy, like I said. And, it's kind of that ugly win scenario where you can reset and be like, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this, we can't do – like, it's one of those situations. Now, listen, they did obviously just lose the game to the Bengals, so it's not like they've just been on this unbelievable win streak that they could never do it, but you shouldn't technically be in an overtime game with the Texans, especially when you're the Chiefs and how dominant they are. But, listen, Mahomes was 36 of 41, 336 and 2 touchdowns. Like, obviously, it wasn't on him that they weren't doing anything. Travis Kelce, another unbelievable game, 10 for 105. Juju had a big game, 10 for 88. Jerick McKinnon had a big game as well. He had 10 carries, 52 yards, but he also had 8 catches for 7 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. So they had a nice little reset, and it was weird the way the Texans were playing too. So like Davis Mills was technically the starter. They would bring in like Jeff Driscoll for
like
gadget
like
plays.
Taysom Hill, yeah. They
Yeah.
use him like Taysom Hill,
It was definitely a little odd because you don't expect Jeff Driscoll to be a gadget guy, but hey, you know what? It almost worked out, so it doesn't really matter.
He was pretty athletic at Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and here's the CJ. Here's the weird thing, like, and like I said before, NFL.com does leave out things sometimes. So I'm not 100% sure if this is all true, but if it's not true, blame NFL.com, not me. Just putting the disclaimer out. But I mean, you look at this total stats from this game. The Chiefs should have won 50-5. Total yards 502 to 219. 313 passing yards to 125. 189 rushing yards to 94. They averaged 7 yards compared to 4. I mean,
I think the difference probably time of possession.
not even. Kansas City 37 minutes to Houston's 27. And it was a 30-24 overtime win for the Chiefs. I mean, I guess they did fumble the ball twice, so that's obviously
yes.
short field situations.
That's
I mean, look right here because they fumbled it. Then the Texans scored because they started on the Kansas City 17, so that obviously helps.
Yeah, Pacheco fumbled.
And then there was another fumble where they only had to start on the Kansas City 49.
Juju fumbled. Yeah, Juju and Pacheco fumbled. That's why. That's what made it close.
A missed field goal too by
Bucker. Yeah.
Bucker.
Those things they got to clean up. They got to clean those things up. You can't have those type of turnovers.
Not in the playoffs.
No, not at all. But Texans, I talked about this last week with the Texans. Same thing, guys. Just because you're on a losing team doesn't mean you need to put out bad film. Plain and simple. So, they're balling. They're just not as talented. They need a quarterback. They could get a quarterback.
They are this year.
And I'm saying this about a lot of these teams, and we know there's a group of teams that need a quarterback, and they're definitely in that category. Hence why they have the record they have. But I'm just thinking, Bryce Young, to me, seems like the only way they could go. And that's going to be very interesting to watch Young and Trevor Lawrence in that division. That's what I'm thinking about. I know the Chiefs, they got it done. I saw that they're running the football, which is good. You're going to have to run the football. You need balance. Mahomes going to his checkdowns, which is good. Pacheco, McKinnon. McKinnon is a great dual threat running back. He can catch out the backfield. He can run in between the tackles. He's a weapon, and I'm glad they're using him more. It's just in the playoffs, who's going to be that wide receiver that's going to step up for them? I know Kelsey's going to step up, but who's going to be that wide receiver that's going to step up in the playoffs? Is it going to be Juju, MVS? McCole Hardman was out in this game. Is he going to be someone that comes in? Sky Moore hasn't really had an impact in his rookie season. He could come out and, second year, develop, get better within the system, very possible. So that's what I think about, because I see Burrow, he's going to Chase. And he could go to Higgins too. Higgins, again, he's just as good to me. He doesn't have like the speed that Chase has, but everything else, in terms of hands, in catching traffic, third down, money. So I know Burrow got those two guys. I know Herbert has Josh Allen.
Mike Williams, Keenan
Allen, and Mike Williams. I know they have those two guys. So
if they're on the field.
Yeah, if they're on the field, right. And those are guys that extend drives and keep the football away from Patrick Mahomes. So who are going to be those two guys on the Chiefs in the playoffs? That's going to be interesting to see, because You cannot underrate what Tyreek did in the playoffs for them, especially in that Bills game.
We saw the Chiefs trade up to get their franchise in Mahomes. Can they try and trade up and get a receiver this year?
I mean, they're aggressive like that. They made moves where it's possible where I could see that. I wouldn't be shocked, but I feel like receivers now you could get them anywhere.
Sure.
And you could get them in the first round, second round, third round, but anywhere in the draft. If you feel like they could come in and fit your system, and you have a guy that's going to be willing to make plays, then you should be good to go. You should be good to go. But yeah, they could do that, but I think I could see them probably waiting until the second round, because you look at the top guys in the NFL. A lot of the guys, there's a couple obviously top 10 picks, but most of them are second round guys.
Yeah.
All right, you got Cowboys and the Jaguars. This was it's another crazy game. Cowboys were up in this game. It was 27-10.
Let's see. I can tell you right now.
It was 27.
Going into halftime, it was 21-7. And then, I mean, 21-7 and then 24-10.
Oh, 24-10. Okay. It was 24-10. And they went on a 30-10.
27-10. You were right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. 27-10 because they kicked another field goal after that. I didn't even see that.
And they went on a 30-7 run. Again, that sounds like basketball. Just the lack of execution from the Cowboys, the turnovers. They're easily the better team. Just the way they played in that first half was sensational. CeeDee Lamb was just catching everything. I don't know. They just stopped using Tony Pollard all of a sudden. You just didn't see the football that much in the second half. I don't know why. I think Kellen Moore kind of starts feeling himself a little bit too much. And with the play calling, he needs to just keep the main thing. The defense didn't do a great job either. He gave up 40 points.
40.
Trevor Lawrence was diming. Was diming up. Defenses, they really couldn't get home. I thought they made a big play. Curse made a big play, got that fumble on Lawrence. I thought it was GG's after that, but the defense had another 3-and-out. Big time 3-and-out, which led to the field goal for the Jaguars to tie it up 34 up, and they didn't get an opportunity to score on their first possession in overtime. And I think it was a good pass on the circumstances that Dak was in, and Noah Brown just dropped it, bro. Like, you can't drop that pass.
CJ, what do you do? What do you do, CJ?
I don't know what's wrong with these guys, man.
Tell them.
You're trying to bring the ball to your body. That just doesn't.
You're only supposed
to bring the football to your body after you catch it. You're supposed to catch it, then bring it to your not.
CJ, hold on, ready? Watch. I'm throwing you a pass right now. Bang.
And you're supposed to catch it like that,
See?
man. Easy, bro. I don't understand. I really don't. I learned from Larry Fitzgerald, bro. That's what I learned. That's how I learned how to catch. If it's waist up, you catch it like this. If it's waist down, you pinkies come together, bro. I learned that from Larry Fitzgerald when I was like, man, 14.
Never. Doesn't he have more tackles than drop passes? I think that's
Exactly. Yeah. So I saw a YouTube video one day where he was just explaining. I think it might have been like a sports science video. He was talking about how to catch the football. From there on, every single time I saw football, the way it was positioned, I became a beast, bro.
My son said, "I would never drop no pass."
I became a beast watching that Larry Fitzgerald. I always appreciated Larry Fitzgerald for that video, bro. Facts.
CJ, you want to hear?
Gotta have hands. Noah Brown, bro. Like, come on, man. Hey, man, he had, even the catch that he had that Dak threw to him on that drive, though I thought they were gonna win. He still caught it with his body. I'm like, all right, whatever. But you see, it catches up to you, bro. It catches up to you. You just let that football just touch your fingertips and just tuck. You're good, man. You can't drop that pass.
Because that's the other thing too. and I don't know if this is actual science, but I
That's
feel
why you
like
need an Odell. Like you need an Odell. Odell makes that catch.
I feel like this is just an observation. But I feel like if you try to catch it with your hands and you don't, it usually just bounces off your hands and falls to the ground. It's always those ones that hit off the body because it hits the shoulder pads and things that go up into the air and end up getting caught.
Yeah, but also it's like because you just it's just weird to me how why would you think that's a good way to catch the football, bringing it to your body when you could just use your hands to catch it. Like you're using your arms and hands to bring it to your body. And I
Yeah,
understand in a way it's a quicker way. In certain aspects it's quicker. Like if the ball because you bring it to your body and you're ready for the hit. Like you know the hit's coming. So I get it. In certain situations, yeah, you do have to catch the football with your body. I do understand that. But if it's a key down and I feel like, yo, I could get two hands on the football, I'm snagging that football.
maybe he had a fresh manicure. You never know. Listen, self care Saturday or something. CJ,
They,
are you
they need a
interested?
receiver.
Are you
The CD
interested
should
here?
have been. They should have ran a rub route for CD Lamb and not Noah Brown. They
Well,
should have ran a. They should have that play call should have been Gallup and Noah Brown run the rub route to free up Lamb. Lamb got to be the guy getting that ball.
true.
Plain and simple. And it comes off his hands and it gets a pick six, and it's GG's. It's just a what a game if you're a Jaguar fan, and if you're a Cowboy fan, you're just sitting in that stadium like just wow.
Zay Jones, woo, what a game he had.
Yeah.
One of my favorite player stories this year. I can't believe he's doing so well. CJ, are you interested to hear Trevor Lawrence's last few games?
Let's hear it. I know they're great.
All right. So against the Chiefs, 29-40, 259, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Goes and plays Baltimore, 29-37, 321, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rough game against the Lions, 17-31, threw a touchdown, no picks though. Tennessee, 30-42, 368 for three and no interceptions. And then Dallas, 27-42, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. CJ, you know what we call this? You know what we call this? This is the light bulb. That stupid cartoon thing. Oh, I got a great idea. Light bulb appears over their head. It's on. The Trevor Lawrence light bulb has been flipped on, and he's understanding everything. Obviously, you give credit to Doug Peterson, and if we, I mean, listen, I'm not saying this. I am saying this, but also his teammate. I can't remember who it was a couple of weeks ago. This is basically his rookie season. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, last year does not count. Urban Meyer, who was too busy dancing with other people in the clubs and not even, flying home on his own team flights back from London or whatever the hell it was.
From that standpoint, yeah. Like from terms of coaching, yeah, this is his rookie year, but he still got film out last year that he can learn from. So it's still a blessing. It was still definitely a blessing in disguise.
It's almost the best of both worlds. You went through the terrible, so we can all be changed, and you can actually get good coaching now and figure things out. But I mean, it looks like the light bulb has been popped on. ETN had 19 carries, 103 yards, so the running game was very good in this. Like Gridiron just said, Zay Jones, 6 for 109, 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 6 for 92. And then listen, back-to-back games, Evan Ingram's looks pretty good. He had 8 catches and 62 yards, so things are starting to come together. And CJ, I forget it happened all the time, and then I go on Sleeper, and I realize that I drafted him to my team. This team gets Calvin Ridley next season.
Right.
That is the thing. Calvin Ridley is going to be on the Jaguars next year. He's going to be right next to Christian Kirk. He'll be there with Zay Jones. You would imagine Evan Ingram will still be there. Another year of Trevor Lawrence, being, learning and growing in the league. It'll be ETN's second season. Maybe they add some more playmakers in the draft or add to the defense to shore up whatever, needs that they have. Listen, once you get the guy, and it looks like now you can kind of say that they have a guy because, last season it was bad, but we know the coaching. And, even the beginning of this year wasn't the greatest thing ever. Things changed.
Yeah, no, they definitely have. I mean, he's playing great football, and they have a shot to, maybe make a playoff push if things go right for them.
Yeah.
So
I think they're 2 games out of the division, and they play the Titans again.
Yeah, so they again, it's the ball is in their court. The ball is in their court right now, and it's just great to see. It's great to see they finally have a quarterback. Finally, the Jaguars for so long. You know, you had Garrard, Leftwich, Bortles in these last 2 decades. Garrard was good. Garrard was good. He wasn't, he wasn't really a franchise guy, but he made some big plays back in the day. Leftwich, same thing. Mark Brunell earlier when they first became a team back in the '90s. He was their best guy. But now they found that guy, and it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see, and they got the perfect coach for him, a quarterback friendly head coach. He won a Super Bowl with a third string quarterback. So that just speaks to how dominant he is.
Yeah, playing
I
Gabbert.
forgot about Blaine Gabbert. Yes,
Most
Blaine
people
Gabbert.
will forget about playing
Yeah,
Gabbert.
that was before Bortles, right? And yeah, it's just been dirt for that, and that pretty much the entire new millennium with Jaguar quarterbacks. It's been mid or dirt. So now they have a young guy in the passing era. You just talked about who they're getting Ridley next season. That's another weapon to the fold.
And
The
he's
division.
like, obviously we forget because he hasn't played this year. He's a dog.
He's a dog. He is a dog. Great, one of the best route runners in the NFL. Got great hands. He's a dog. Just made a bad decision.
Real quick about the Cowboys too. I think Dak has 10 interceptions since coming back. That is it's not what we want here. It's not what we want because you have a very good defense, but you can't give teams extra possessions, not only in the regular season, but especially in the playoffs because you're obviously playing higher caliber teams. So, I mean,
Yeah, they just
everybody knows I'm not the biggest Dak guy in the world, but the most interceptions in the league I think he has since he came back from his injury. And I think it's also like the highest interception to touchdown ratio. That's got to be fixed.
that second one. I mean, again, I feel
No,
that's
yeah,
no
the second one
yeah.
is I
Yeah,
just say
catch that.
typical Dak because I have to be that guy.
Right, but yeah, there's times where he's inconsistent and he doesn't make plays when necessary. But yeah, they should have. This should have been a W for them. They had an opportunity. They had 27. It was 27-10. You got to close that game out, bro. There's no way you let a team score 30 points on you like that quickly, like that. So that just speaks to the lack of discipline that those guys had in that moment. And this is the second time this has happened to them. It happened to them against Green Bay as well. In Lambeau, they were up 28-14, blew the lead, lost. What was it, 31-28, something like that. So you can't have games like this. You just can't. And everybody was just so focused on the Christmas Eve game against Philadelphia. Now, I mean, of course, it's still a big game. It's still a big game to me because it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
It's a divisional game. It's still, we got Dak versus Hurt, or maybe Dak versus Hurts. We'll see. Hopefully, I really rather not see
Gardner Minshew mustache was back.
I just just the way they hyped it up.
No. CJ. You know what's perfect though? You know what's perfect? And I almost I almost because I want Hurts to be fine. I want him to play because I think it's more fun. But remember the idiot last week? Oh, you put Gardner Minshew in the offense, it would be just as good. I almost hope that the Eagles lose by 40.
Yeah,
if Hurts doesn't play.
Just a bad take, man. It's just I don't know.
Team.
He didn't even have Hurts on his top 40 quarterbacks going into the season.
Say 40?
Right, so that's 8 backups exactly.
Yeah, see, drugs are
nine
crazy.
backups. Yeah, he had 9 backups over Hurts. So yeah, that's just his take. He's wrong, clearly.
Isn't it also funny that Parsons was like, "Oh yeah, it's the system," and then Mailata came out and was like, "Who are they playing this week? Shouldn't he just focus on them?" And then they ended up losing.
He had 1 sack in this game, and that was early. But outside of that, he really didn't make an impact in the game. I'm talking about Micah Parsons. So it was a couple times where he almost got home, but Lawrence was letting that thing go, man. Just throwing dots. getting the football out quick, and that got to be tough. You feel like you're just about to get that sack. And
you remember the clip of Joey Bosa against the Pats in the playoffs? He said, stop throwing the ball so fast.
Yeah. He's getting that ball out, bro. Not trying to get hit. Not trying to get no forced fumble. Ball gets popped up. Picks. We're good. We're good. So yeah, Cowboys. They just need to get disciplined, bro. And this is not the time to have bad habits. This is not the time to be forming bad habits. So they need to lock in. That's a bad loss. It's a bad loss for them, and it's an encouraging win for the Jaguars. We got the Lions and the Jets. This is a close game throughout. We know that stat with Jared Goff. Now it's 2 touchdowns on the road. When it's not in a dome. Pretty crazy.
Brand new Lions.
Brand new Lions. And again, that just speaks to why, again, I feel like they need to go get a dog at QB with a rocket arm. It's perfect. It'd be perfect for that city. But they made a big play. They got Raymond, had that punt return for the touchdown. St. Brown made some big plays. Wilson, he's just not it, man. He's not the guy.
Thank you.
He's not that guy, man. He's just not that guy. His mechanics are choppy. He's always playing on his back foot. He has poor mechanics. He doesn't make the right reads. There's times he makes good plays. He threw that pass to Uzomah was a nice play.
And he came back with one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
Yeah, so it's just that's what it is. And Mike White, he's promising, but he needs to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. You just have that you have to stay healthy. So I mean, they said he had 3 fractured ribs. So that's it. I don't want to say that's it. I don't want to say that's it. I don't know what his mental is made of, but more times than not, it's looking bad. I don't know if he's going to play the rest of the season.
Got 3 fractures. He's already not start. They already said he's not playing Thursday. So
yeah. It's unfortunate. Because they have a great defense. He was dubbed. I'm so glad you brought this up. He was dubbed the most NFL ready quarterback, right? In quotes. Honestly, they said Mac though. They did say Mac was the most
NFL ready, yeah, because coming from Saban.
Yeah, they did say that, but they were comparing him to Aaron Rodgers. They were saying this is the next Patrick Mahomes. All these Orlovsky, Sims, all these guys. And because after the national championship game, it was Lawrence Fields 1 and 2.
Yup.
Automatic. Everybody was saying that, yeah, this is it. This is going to be good. And then just out of nowhere, Zach Wilson out of BYU. Look at this kid, Zach Wilson. I'm just like, okay, but I just saw Fields beat Lawrence in the college playoff game en route to the national championship game with fractured ribs. But I'm like, okay, I just didn't understand why he dropped. And then they say the athleticism, his arm, his release, which he has worked on. He has worked on over these last 2 years. He has worked on his release for Fields, but I didn't see it, and I was like, oh, they're just trying to just usher this guy into saying I was like, Fields
every year it happens.
I was like, Fields is better. I was like, Fields is better than this guy. Fields better than this guy. Same thing for when Lamar. When Lamar was there, I was like, Lamar's better than Sam Darnold. I didn't have a podcast back then, but everybody that I would talk football with.
Don't you worry, CJ, because now our thoughts are out there.
Yeah, no, it's out there now, but I'm just saying, yeah, for the future, exactly, for the next step. But I was saying, I'm just like, oh, Lamar is way better. That's exactly with the Saban connection. But yeah, I never saw it. I just never saw it. I saw the highlights, and he looked good, at BYU. He looked good, but I was like, okay, he's not better than. I didn't see better than Fields to me. I didn't see that. I didn't see light years to the point where it was 1, 2, 11. I didn't see that. That was so that was interesting, but it worked out. It worked out for the Bears, and I'm glad it did, because now they have a franchise guy now. That's something that they've been earning for forever. So I'm happy for them, and for the Jets is still searching.
Is it that they don't have like a 4,000-yard passer in their history?
So about the Bears?
Yeah.
Color never threw for 4K.
I don't think so. I think that's like one of the weird.
That's crazy. Yes,
like
yes.
Weird thing about the Bears that like they've never had like a 4,000-yard passer or like somebody over like 30-something touchdowns. So I'm like, bro,
that's crazy.
I mean, I'm gonna look it up to make sure, but
because I know they had. You could be right, because I know they had Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey for a little bit.
It's been 27 years since Eric Kramer set the Bears' single-season record for passing yards at 3,838.
Wow. So
the franchise tied for the oldest franchise in the NFL has never had a 4,000-yard passer.
I'm gonna go out on a crazy limb here and say Fields will be the first to do that.
I don't know. That's a shocking revelation. I don't know if I can go that far out on the plank with you, brother.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be the first to throw for 4,000 yards for the Bears. 1,000% see it.
Yeah, I would absolutely hope so. Listen, for the Lions, it's brand new Lions. This is the brand new Lions, and even Dan Campbell said it after the win. This is a game they would lose. Like early in the season, years prior, this is a game they lose. They would end up blowing it on the last possession. They would give up a field goal, maybe going overtime and lose, or they would just give up a touchdown and lose. They don't do it now. The defense has played much, much better since that 1-6 start. I think since then they're holding opponents to 20 points per game. Jared Goff's QBR has risen. The points per game are staying about the same. Listen, they have 7 30-point games in this season. That's more than the Chiefs. Like, the Lions' offense is very, very good, which is why
– in the dome.
Yeah. Which is why I do disagree on this. I still say with their draft pick, you go out, you get Will Anderson, pair him up with Aiden Hutchinson, and then you wait for Jared Goff to be that last little final piece, get you over the hump, and then you go get your quarterback. But hey, I'll say this, CJ, I'll concede this. If they draft a quarterback and then make him sit behind Goff for like a year, and then they take a defender with their second pick in the first round, I'm not mad.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. Yeah, I mean, it could be like a Mahomes, Alex Smith thing.
Exactly. So, they've just played much better recently. I said this. If they fix the defense, I think this is a 10-win team next year. I mean, hell, if they win out, which they might have to do to make the playoffs, they're going to reach 10 wins this season. And yeah. I think honestly, I think that this Jet game was the hardest game they had left on the schedule. They do have to play the Packers again. But listen, are the Packers all that?
About to find out.
Yeah.
I promise you, we about to find out what these teams are made of right here in these next couple. This is it. Only 6 and 7. All I see is 6 and 7, 7 and 7, 6 and 8, 5 and 9, even 8 and 6. We about to find out about all those teams with those records. We about to see what they're made of. So it's gonna be a fun next 3 weeks.
I mean, I think they play the Packers. I don't know the other two teams they play, but I don't think that they're the greatest thing in the world. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see him going down the stretch. And yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I think Zach Wilson's time is still over in New York. I think he's only playing because he has to, obviously. You can't put Joe Flacco back out there. That's basically malpractice to the defense, at least.
I don't want to say it's over in New York because, again, Mike White can't stay healthy.
I think he's traded in the offseason. They try and draft a quarterback, or they try and get Jimmy, or they try and – I mean, who else is available, is going to be available out there this year. I feel like we went through this last week. But I don't know. I think it's done. I think he gets traded in the offseason to maybe a team that has a draft pick, but that isn't high enough to get a quarterback. So they're like, listen, he's sucked on the Jets. We can't give you a first for this guy.
Panthers.
Would you be shocked? I wouldn't be.
No,
Do the Panthers try it?
listen.
What if Brady leaves the Bucks? Do the Bucks say, "Oh, look, this is a second round pick in the draft"?
That'd be a disaster. He's not ready for that team.
Would it shock you though? Like
that would shock me. Yes.
Would it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That would shock me. You telling their plan B is Zach Wilson after losing Brady? That would shock me, bro.
I mean,
that would shock me.
So I don't listen. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Because what's their plan B right now? Isn't Blaine Gabbert their backup?
Yeah, but you better. I mean, if you get word that Brady's not going to play, you could. I mean, if it ends up you've tried all these lanes and you end up getting Zach Wilson.
Hey, I'm just saying. I think a team is going to take a chance and be like, "Oh,
but he's not. He's not. He doesn't have the mental makeup for that team. That team got a whole bunch of veterans.
Maybe that's what he needs.
No. I mean, maybe. But they got some veterans on that Jets team right now. So that's what I'm saying.
You got the defensive side though. You got to think it's like C.J. Mosley. Like he's there. Like he would probably be the veteran. I mean, who on offense is really a veteran? Corey Davis.
Yeah, but
because like other than that, it's Breece Hall, it's Garrett Wilson.
If I'm Jason Moore, I know we're just doing hypotheticals, but if I'm Jason Light, I would seriously think about my job might be on the line, bro.
Or do you just tank and say, "Hey, Caleb, you're a Buccaneer"?
It's tough to do. They got too many guys on that team. That's just not going to sit. Yeah, but it's different now. It's different now. They've seen winning now, so it's different.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I think he's going to stay with the team, bro. Like I said, Mike White, he can't stay healthy. So if he say he gets hurt, then who are you going to? Cricket. It's crickets. Could they go after Garoppolo?
I think that's their plan A. I genuinely do.
He's also a guy. Now you're going to pay him what, $30 million, and he can't stay healthy either. I'd rather go the Mike White, Zach Wilson route. Honestly, I'm not going to pay Garoppolo, $28 million, and he's glass. I'm good. And we don't even know if he's going to be good with the Jets.
No, we certainly don't.
He's throwing the Hall of Famers, the all pro guys on the 49ers. I like some of the Jets players, but they're not at that level yet. So
Garrett Wilson's going to be.
Right. I know and it's crazy, I know Garoppolo got the third highest winning percentage in 49er history, but I still don't see it. But.
Listen, CJ, you don't got to argue with me. I'm not a.
No, I know. Yeah, I just think that.
Yeah, I hear.
If it's there and if they want to go after a guy, that's what they got to do. If they want to make a trade, be aggressive and make a trade. If you feel like, we got enough pieces to win right now, we just won 7 games with a 5th round pick and our second pick that was a bust. Yeah, man, go ahead, trade a couple first round draft picks to try to move up in the draft and get a quarterback. Sure, why not? You got him for a rookie deal for 4 years. That's more than any first round pick. If you end up getting that guy. Cardinals and the Broncos.
Battle of the backups.
Yeah, battle of the backups. I didn't really see too much of this game.
Absolutely not.
To be completely honest, it's good to see that the Broncos got that dub. I know Russell Wilson wasn't playing in this one with the concussion.
Yeah,
but I gotta be honest, Viking Broncos fans, man, I'm sorry, man. I was not watching this game.
No, the Pats were playing at the same time. There was a Charger game on, and it was 2 backups. I'm good. I'm sorry. Listen, I'll be honest.
My bad, man. My bad. Yeah, it's on y'all. I should have played better. Sorry.
It's not my fault. It's
Yes.
It's not me. It's you.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. Titans and the Chargers. This is a close game. The Titans, they fight, bro. They fight, man.
They're fighting a lot of L's right now, though.
Yeah, they are fighting a lot of L's. You know, Tannehill's on a bad ankle. He's
two bad ankles apparently. That's what Rappaport said. Both ankles are sprained. He's like Carson Wentz last season. Remember that play where he sprained both ankles on one play?
I guess the Rams, yeah, crazy. He got heart. Right, Tannehill got some heart. He got heart. So I respect that. The defense is good, bro. Their defense is really so good. That play that Roger McCurry made, where he, on the left side, and Herbert threw it. He threw it back in for the pick. It's like NFL streets. That was like some NFL street stuff. That was a great play by McCurry from Auburn. He was a good corner. He was a good corner in college. He was a real good corner in college. And Kevin Meyer got a pick. Dejon Walker was getting a couple sacks. They was getting home, man. It was just key plays throughout the game. 3rd and 10, just 3rd and 12. This Keenan Allen, he's going to go down as one of the most underrated wide receivers in NFL history. No doubt about it. He's not a flashy guy. He doesn't have a dance after a touchdown.
Nope.
But he just makes plays.
Doesn't have unbelievable speed or the highest jumping or
his route,
perfect routes.
His route running is exceptional. He gets yards after the catch too, and he's money on 3rd down, and he's money in the red zone. Perfect, elite wide receiver. And Mike Williams is a great compliment to him. Austin Eckler's a dog, young, small guy, but does so much for that team, running the football, receiving the football. Joshua Kelly, that's a nice little running back duo that they have right now. Donald Parham is back. It's big 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, he's a big tight end. Glad to see him back. He was dealing with some injuries throughout the season. If they could get him involved, especially in the red zone, that'd be big time for their red zone packages, because you still have a versatile tight end in Gerald Everett too. So this offense could be really scary. And Khalil Mack is back. He's looking like he's playing well.
Bosa should be back soon, apparently.
Yes, Bosa should be back from the groin injury that he was dealing with throughout the season. So
getting healthy at the right time.
And they need to be getting W's at the right time. They got to win out. I said it, 11-6. Why not? You got a top 5 quarterback, right? So make it happen.
Like they do.
Make it happen. 11-6 is very possible. This is a close win, gutsy win. They needed it. They got it done against a tough, rugged team that's not going to give up. You got to really blow them out and just out physical and outman them to win that game. If you play around and play with your food, they could get a dub on you.
J.C. Jackson, Willie McGinnis the same day.
Crazy.
That was crazy. You see the video, Willie?
Willie, nah.
Bro. I don't know why. I don't know the backstory, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Bro, they're in like a bar restaurant thing or whatever. Dude sitting down, Willie and like 3 other gigantic people. Like Willie stands over him, the dude starts to stand up, and they just start bodying him.
Sheesh.
So I don't know the backstory, but you can say bye to that NFL Network job. I'll tell you that.
Damn, Willie, that's tough. Yeah, but again, that's why I say don't idolize these players, man. Idolize your parents. But yeah, again, big dub by the Chargers. Actually, big dub by the Chargers. They needed that.
Playoffs.
And then playoff picture right now, and this is what we want to see. We want to see the trying to find a name for all those guys, but just the tournament, the QB tournament, the young QB tourney. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. It's not even a core 4. You could go with the old Yankee nickname, but there's too many.
Yeah, it's way too many, man. It's like pretty much almost half the conference, which is crazy, bro. It's crazy. Bengals and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers were up 17-0 in this game, and in the second half, it was just one of the worst second half performances I've seen from a team. Yeah, just everything started to spiral out of control. Interceptions, fumbles lost, and the Bengals just came marching down the field. You just kept giving them opportunities. More times than not, they're going to score, and they did a great job of responding. This was what, a 34-6 run.
Yep.
The Bucs scored that late touchdown at the end. It really meant nothing. So
I said
34-6 run is insane. We've seen what's this the third, fourth game where you've seen a point differential discrepancy like this so wide. Insane, brother.
I mean, CJ, I said a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about why they always beat the Chiefs, and it's that quick hit Warriors offense. It's one of the things that only a few teams in the league can do. Them, the Chiefs, I think the Bills can do it. I think the Eagles can do it now. But it's like, oh, we're up 14, or hell, in the Bucs case, we're up 17. We're gonna cruise. I mean, 17 points. That's not the biggest lead of all time, but it's comfortable. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, they scored a touchdown. That's fine. Oh wait, we punted. Wait, they just scored another touchdown. Wait, oh, we punted again. Wait, they scored again. And it's like, oh, well, now we're losing 21-17. What happened?
Right, yeah. When you have better quarterbacks,
it's been 15 minutes. I went to the fridge to make a sandwich.
Facts. When you have the better the quarterbacks are, the less leads are safe.
Oh, I mean,
the less these leads are safe, man. Because when you have these young guys that we continue to keep talking about, and now Lawrence is in that fold now too, which is, I mean, it's good. The AFC is stacked, bro. It's so stacked.
And this is out without Deshaun playing well. This is with Lamar injured.
Lamar, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's so stacked. So it's just you gotta keep your foot on the pedal against these young guys. They're hungry. They want to score. They don't care about a 17-point lead. Well, yeah, we can just get 3 touchdowns right here. I got Chase and Higgins and Boyd
and Nixon and
P. Ryan. Yeah,
yeah.
It's too easy. Hayden Hurst. So it's too easy. And the Bengals, they're dangerous. They're hitting on all cylinders, bro. They're one of the hottest teams in the league.
I think they're going back to the bowl.
All right, yeah. That's
my bold Week 15 prediction.
It's not that bold. I mean, they got the Chiefs number.
They got to beat the Bills and the Chiefs and all these teams to get there. What's your CJ? Let me. What's your Super Bowl right now?
Wow.
Yeah, see, we ask hard-hitting questions. Gridiron, if you're here, I want to know yours too. Right now, Super Bowl. I would go, at the moment, Bengals 49ers. Because I don't know about Hurts. If Hurts is healthy, Bengals, Eagles.
But they're saying just sprained shoulder, right?
I mean,
that's from what I saw.
But I don't know what shoulder it is. That's my problem. Is it his throwing shoulder or the other one?
Yes, yeah. I think I saw left. I think I saw left shoulder. I'm gonna say the Eagles in the NFC. Shocker. And AFC.
Gridiron's got Bills 49ers.
It's a great game. It'd be a great game. AFC. I'm gonna say Bills. I'm gonna see if Josh Allen could get to the. We saw Burrow get to the bowl. We saw Mahomes get to the bowl. Let's see if Allen can get to the bowl. That'll just make it even more interesting going forward. All 3 of those guys got to the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, Mahomes got the Super Bowl, but it would just make that story even better with those young guys in the fold. So yeah, I'll say Bills Eagles. That's a hell of a game. Sheesh.
CJ,
gotta have a Super Bowl party for that one. If that happens, either way.
Either
way, I think we're gonna get a good game.
Watch, we'll end up getting like a Vikings, Dolphins Super Bowl. We're gonna be like, what the hell happened?
I wouldn't even be mad at the Vikings if Kirk just was just, I don't know, if he was just different, because they got some weapons. It's a fun team,
baby.
To score 39, score 39 like that, you gotta have some.
Did you hear the halftime thing?
Oh, the speech.
Yeah, where like he heard Patrick Peterson was like, "Yeah, we only need 5 touchdowns."
I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that, but They got it done. They did what they needed to do. Bengals did what they needed to do. Coming back down 17-0, getting the W. Just gutsy on the road. We know how the Buccaneers got embarrassed against the 49ers, so they wanted to come out and play well, and they did play their first script. Their first 15 to 20 plays were good.
First half might have been the best they've played all the season.
The problem with them is, one, they really could use Gronk. They don't have a Gronk. Brady loves to go to his tight ends, especially in the red zone, and they just don't have that guy.
Nope.
In the red zone. And also, Brady doesn't like to throw outside the numbers. He likes to throw inside the numbers. So that's why you see him go to Godwin and engage more than Evans. So I don't know if they want to switch that up and start putting Evans a little bit in the slot a little bit more so he can start getting the ball. He's a bigger guy. He's a shifty guy. I feel like he can break a tackle and get loose if he's in that slot. Godwin is that slot guy. Brady's going to have to throw the football outside the numbers a little bit and let Evans get the ball. I mean, it's your best player.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to run the football well. Giovanni Bernard had that fumble on the punt. That was tough. And then the post game interview that he had, it was very, very awkward, and how that played out.
What have you done for us to interview you this season?
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
A reporter say, right?
Yeah, like what?
It's crazy.
I would have walked right out and taken the fine the minute that they said that to me. But I'm paying. So
but that's the media. I mean, that's the media, bro. And that's what I'm saying. That's the media thing. And then when you critique them, then they get personal and they get in their feelings, and then you give them so much power to where they decide who becomes a Hall of Famer. Nasty work. But NFC East showdown between the Giants and the Commanders.
This was a huge game for both of them.
It's a big game for both of them. A lot of questionable, calls. And
what do you think about the Scary Terry thing?
I mean, I did, looking at the clip, it did look like the ref said had the thumbs up, but you can't rely on the ref, bro. You got to know that. You've been in the league way too long.
I guess my only problem would be
you can't have your deciding drive decide on a ref's confirmation. You gotta know that. You have to know that, man.
I agree with you, but I think my only thing would be, like, if I ask you and you say yes, and then you're the one to throw the flag. Like, if somebody else threw the flag and it was like, well, listen, he might have given you confirmation, but to me, you were still off. I guess it can still be kind of like a, well, damn, like, I guess he was wrong then. But, like, how are you going to ask me? That's like me being like, CJ, what's your favorite color? Blue. I get you something blue. You're like, I hate the color blue. Why would you ever get me something blue? Like, what are you talking about? I asked you 30 seconds ago. Now your favorite color is yellow? What happened?
Exactly.
So, like, I guess and then, listen, that's not pass interference. What are we talking about?
It was definitely pass
interference. What are we talking about? Oh, you got to let him play in the last few minutes of the game. Yeah, I like the whole let him play thing, but
it's a good point.
It's blatantly obvious, though.
Yeah,
like, that's not, to me, that's not a let him play thing, though. Like, a let him play is like a little hand fighting as the ball's in the air and no ticky tack pass interference. That is not letting them play. That is letting them cheat. Like, he bear hugged him.
Letting them cheat.
Like, he bear hugs him and then it's nothing. Like, I don't know how that is not, especially in Washington. Usually, you always hear they can't throw the flag if it's in this spot because of because of the crowd. That was in Washington.
Right. Exactly. That was definitely PI. It just was. But the officiating was very poor this weekend, as we know.
Oh no, yeah, Gridiron. We did the Pats game in the beginning. We skipped it because we had to get to it in the beginning as both of us being Patriot fans. No, I don't think CJ. We don't think it has a touchdown, right? I mean, I know I didn't.
No, I didn't think it was a touchdown.
Definitely not a touchdown. But yeah, if you go back to the beginning, After you watch the rest of the show, of course. But if you go back to the beginning, we started off, believe it or not, with the pass game. I got a little passionate. So, hey, listen, Gridiron, we're here. That's what we're here for,
Got you, brother. We got you, man. Good question. Yeah, so
You
big
think it
win.
was a touchdown, or are we just biased Patriot fans?
Oh, nah, that wasn't a touchdown, bro. Come on, man.
Oh no, I'm asking Gridiron. I want to know if Gridiron thinks it's a touchdown. I mean, I think there's only one correct answer, but
Yeah, good win by the Giants, though. Good win by the Giants. They
Yeah,
needed this one.
whoever won this game, their playoff chances went up into the 80s, and whoever lost it went down to like the 20s.
Yeah, there's just so many questionable things, and it's tough for a game to end like that. But Terry, you gotta know. You have to know, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It was a touchdown. It ended up being a touchdown.
Two fumbles by Heineke
Right.
in the red zone.
In the red zone. Kayvon Thibodeau was amazing.
There you go, Gridiron. You're our favorite viewer for sure.
Everybody knows. Kayvon Thibodeau was a beast in this game. 12 tackles, forced fumbles, sack, and a touchdown. That's a hell of a game. On the road, in a division game. Giant fans, they're going crazy right now. I'm pretty sure Thibodeau jerseys are coming off the
shelves.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to get them in time to put underneath the tree.
Yeah, no
Just
doubt.
Just kidding, kids.
No
Santa
doubt.
Claus is coming.
You're right. So he was phenomenal. His best game of the season. He's getting pressures, but for him to make an impact play like that was
sack,
big.
Fumble, touchdown, all in one play. Got the trifecta.
All in one play. It's beautiful. So big win for the Giants as they continue on their playoff quest. And that was a big win. Monday Night Football, Rams, Packers. Packers staying alive. They're right there in the mix.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, nah. Oh, her loss. Nah. So what we're gonna see. Defense was great. The defense was great in this game against the Rams. I know the Rams. This is not the Super Bowl winning team Rams. This is not the same Rams we saw last year. Not even close. It's kind of their B team. But yeah, this is a much needed win for Green Bay. And Baker again. It's just a nice story. It was a great game they had against the Raiders. But he's a good quarterback. He's a quarterback that can win you a bunch of games. He's a situational quarterback. He's in that Garoppolo situation. He's situational. When the situation is good, great run, great defense, solid weapons, he's a good fit for you. But if the situation isn't all the way there, especially in key areas, like maybe defense, O-line at times, it's difficult to call him a franchise quarterback. So he's in that Garoppolo tier. There's just levels in that tier of who's better in that tier. That's just all it is. But that's the category he's in. And he's not throwing the cup. He's not throwing to Allen Robinson. He's not handing the ball off to the top guys. So
Cam Akers did have a good game though.
Cam Akers had a solid game. He had some issues. There was a point where he wanted to get traded, and that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in the offseason with him. But yeah, big win for the Packers, and we'll see if they're able to keep this going in these next few weeks.
Yeah, not much else to say for me. He basically mirrored everything I would. We're gonna see.
Baker
wins.
And
is it bad? I'm still listen. Gridiron, you've missed 2 years of Carson Wentz being my guy. I was a big Carson Wentz guy until he's just proved me absolutely wrong. A couple years ago when that first year, was it the year on the Colts? I think it was. I said he was going to win the MVP. So I've been number one fan of Carson Wentz ever since. Like right now, it's Wentzington, D.C., baby.
No, it was the Eagles. It was his last season on the Eagles.
It was the last season on the Eagles.
You said that, yeah.
Okay, so ever since then, big Wentz guy. I feel like I would still go Wentz though. He's got a better arm, and I still feel like he's a little more athletic. Baker looks like a Teletubby when he runs.
Facts. All right, we got the play real fast. So we get to our Week 16 picks. We got the playoff picture here. Right now, the Bills are at the top spot in the AFC, followed by the Chiefs. And then number three is the Bengals as they're number one in the AFC North. Titans as they're hanging on for that South divisional title. And then the wild card spots are the Ravens, Chargers, and the Dolphins. A couple teams on the bubble: Patriots, Jets, Jaguars, Raiders. And then on the NFC side, we got Philadelphia, followed by the Vikings, 49ers, Dallas Cowboys with the 5th seed. And in the hunt, teams that we got Tampa Bay.
Why is Dallas listed above the Bucks? That don't even make sense.
Yes.
Bucks are the 4 seed. Dallas is the 5 seed. I mean,
yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, they still got a 4 or 5 though. Yeah, that's weird. I guess record. I don't know. And then you got the Giants in the mix, Washington in the mix, and then on the bubble you got Seattle, Lions, and Green Bay.
Gosh, I can't wait for the Lions to make the playoffs.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm calling it. They're doing it this year.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you. And who's going to make the playoffs?
So I think the Lions make the playoffs, and the Commanders miss, and I think the rest of it stays the same. And then I think the AFC is set. I don't think anybody jumps in or out. I don't think the Pats are going to make it. I don't think – actually, no. You know what? Nah, I think it's set. As much as I want the Jags to make the playoffs over the Titans, I feel like they'll just slip up, unfortunately, one time. And I think I think they would have to win out. So I don't think they have room to slip up. But I think the AFC is set, and I think it's going to stay that way. But I think the NFC, I think the Lions jump over the Commies.
Okay. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm right with you, man. I'm right with you. I think actually, no. I'm gonna say the Packers come in here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Packers, Lions.
Oh, so you think the Giants and Washington fall out?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna go Giants, Lions. Just like how you got it. Yeah. I'm gonna go Giants, Lions. I trust Giants defense a little bit more.
Because the Giants also have the tiebreaker over the Packers.
Exactly. And then on the AFC side, it was just sold, bro. Sellers. Yeah, I think it's gonna stay like this. I think somehow the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens just need one more win. They can somehow get one more win.
Oh yeah, the Ravens are good.
Yeah, that's gonna be. That'll be a shocker if a 10 and whatever team doesn't make the playoffs. But yeah, I think that's how it's gonna be. I think that's how it's gonna be for the playoffs. And if Lamar can somehow come back, whoo, we got Lamar, Herbert, Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, and Tua.
The NFL's dream.
And maybe Lawrence. They can somehow win the division.
The NFL would cry themselves to sleep if that happens.
Man, that would be insane, brother. Insane. All right, we're about to go to these Week 16 picks. Last week I went 13-3. You went 11-5.
This guy 13-3. Look at this guy.
Big dub for your boy.
Okay.
See if we could get another one this week.
I refuse to let that happen, people. Coming back.
We got the Jaguars and the Jets. I got the Jaguars.
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Gonna go with the Jets.
I think the defense is like that.
The defense is like that. That was not a confident pick, but all right.
No. I got some room to spare on the overall rankings.
Nah, for sure. We got the Falcons and the Ravens. I think this is the 10th win I was talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Lions and the Panthers. This is a sneaky game for the Lions.
Brand new Lions.
I'm gonna go Detroit as well, but this could be a trap type game for them. They sleep on Carolina. They can easily take it out. Bills and the Bears. This is exciting from a QB standpoint, but from a game standpoint, I'm going with Buffalo.
I agree.
Saints and the Browns. Remember, Deshaun talks about him going to the Saints. I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
I am gonna go with Cleveland as well.
Seattle and Kansas City. This is a big game. Seattle, they need every dub. Kansas City's trying to lock up that first seed. This is a big game for both teams. I'm gonna go Kansas City though.
Yeah, I got Kansas City, and I don't think it's going to be close either.
Giants and the Vikings, big game, especially for the Giants. I'm going to go Giants because they need it more.
I don't think the Giants' offense can keep up with the Vikings, although I think the Giants' defense is better. I don't think the Giants can outscore the Vikings. Like, if this gets to, 24, it's over. Giants can't score. So I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Bengals and the Patriots.
Listen,
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Boys.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals, man. I'm just disgusted. I always pick the Patriots guy, as you know, but
yeah, no, not me.
Bengals. Going with Cincinnati as well. Texans and the Titans. I'm gonna go with the Titans. They need this dub. Jaguars are on their heels.
I agree with you on that.
Commanders and the 49ers. Commanders tough. They needed that.
This is my trap game of the week, by the way.
It's your trap game of the week. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm still picking them. Still picking the 49ers. But it's my trap game because I said, listen, remember last week I said, back-to-back trap games for the Cowboys. I ended up losing it. So this is the trap game, but I'm still going 49ers.
Facts. This is the game everybody wanted to see. This is the game everybody was talking about. America's game of the week on Fox. Eagles, Cowboys.
Am I allowed to do the if Hurts plays? I'll pick the Eagles. If not, I got Cowboys.
Yeah, sure, because it's Tuesday, bro. So we don't know.
All right, that's what I'm doing then.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on the same length. If Hurts is playing, I hope Hurts is healthy. I hope he plays. I want to see a great game. It's gonna be a great game if he is out there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia. Raiders and the Steelers. This is a classic. Two classic teams. Got a lot of history back in the day.
Anniversary of the Immaculate Reception.
Anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. The classic games that those two teams had. Raiders, they need this dub, so I'm gonna go with Vegas.
Yeah, I got the Raiders as well.
I can see that being the Raiders are the worst second half team I've ever seen. The way they got bailed out, sad. All right, all right. We got the Packers and the Dolphins.
Who wins? I got the Fins.
I'm gonna go Miami as well. This could be a low key kind of shootout type game. I could see that. Very possible. Broncos and the Rams, snooze fest. I'm gonna go Rams. I guess I trust Baker a little bit more. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Broncos.
I'm gonna go Broncos because I trust their defense more.
Yeah. I was about to say that exactly. I trust the defense way more. Buccaneers and the Cardinals. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I got Tampa too.
That should be a get right game for them. In the Monday Night Football game, Chargers and the Colts. Man, if the Chargers lose this, bro, I don't know what to say.
Top 5 Justin Herbert, baby.
Yeah, I hope so. They better not lose this game. They better not fold, man. But yeah, that wraps up this episode of the Hard Count. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Everybody that tuned in, liking the video, liking the stream on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. That does it for us. Anthony Conover _ on Twitter. My link tree is in the bio. You can find me there. And hey, listen, I'll give it to CJ after this, but Merry Christmas to all right? We're not going to see you until the big man slides down the chimney, all right? So I hope everybody gets what they want. Hope he's real nice to you. And hope you have a great holiday, all right? Gridiron, I appreciate you. You too, of course. And
Appreciate you, my
where
God.
can they find
Likewise.
you?
Sir, Linktree/CJames9. Find everything that I'm working on Twitter at CJames9_. Follow me there. Yeah, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody's safe, has a great holiday, spend time with your family, spend time with your loved ones, man. Very important.
With all that being said, we'll see you on the next episode. All right, y'all. Have a good one.